When boy is in town, there ain't no fooling around. Only rule is maybe don't die tonight. Guess boy just got back to town. Since he been back, food been rotting in the ground. Where the heck boy gone to? You know, when he get back, cause something else will end up back too. The boy is back in town. Come out and play, don't get led astray. I happily walk into the night to find my ghost wife in white. The boy is back again. A pool in a motel is like a boat without a sail. You can't break me. 3:30 in the morning, not a soul in sight. Monsters knocking on my door every night. When the bell starts ringing, be ready for the pain he's bringing. He wants to get home in his boat. If you get in his way, he'll cut your throat. Come out and play, don't get led astray. I happily walk into the night to find my ghost within white. The boy is back again. The pool is no motel, it's like a boat without a sail. You can't break me. 3:30 in the morning, not a soul in sight. Monsters knocking on my door every night. When the bell starts ringing, be ready for the pain he's bringing. He wants to get home in his boat. If you get in his way, he'll cut your throat. Come out and play, don't get led astray. I happily walk into the night to find my ghost wife in white. The boy is back again. The boy is back again. This place can't break me, even if they take me. Web spun demons come. Worms got into me, worms I go to set them free. Worms will ride a pony on the sea. Take these worms from me. Smiley, smiley.
My blood is your blood now, motherfucker.
I like this game.
And welcome everyone and happy Monday night to you all. And welcome to our From Content Creator Roundtable discussion where we have quite a panel for you all tonight. We got some favorites. You guys have requested them and they are here. So we are going to dive into this. We're going to welcome everybody, welcome you guys. And then we got quite an episode to get into tonight. So we got with us, and I'm so sorry, I'm going to make sure I get everybody right. Because we'll tell you guys, we got some folks tonight. We got some more coming in. This isn't even everybody. We got some more folks that's going to come in later. So we got quite a panel. So we got ShookEarth Media. Welcome, welcome, hun.
Thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, you were a fan requested, if I'm not mistaken. So
that's awesome.
It is, man. I'm telling you guys. The Fromily, look, they support one and all, and they love you guys. If you get in the Discord, you'll see what we're talking about, because I'm telling you, the love for a lot of the content creators out there is big.
I'll have to do that.
Oh, yeah. We also got Tom from the Oracle Talk Radio Network. What's up, hun? He was with us last week. I'm sorry, my weeks get mixed together.
2 or 3 weeks ago, I think.
2 or 3 weeks ago? Okay. So,
yeah, but thank you for inviting me back. I'm glad to be here, and love the Fromily, and yeah, Oracle Talk Radio Network. Check it out too. We have a lot of different content on there for everybody, so please check it out and watch and subscribe to anything that resonates with you. But thank you again for the invite.
And yes, our mods should have all the links that they should be posted. I think I got everybody's in the description. If I did not, I'm gonna go back and make sure I get everybody's in there. But yes, Miss Delcinia, she's on top of it. She's getting them in there for you guys. Yep, there we go. Yep, I'll tell you, Delcinia knows she's on top of it. She's one of the best mods we got. Her, Vic, and Kiwi, they hold it down.
Yep.
Let's see. We also have with us. See, I want to say, all right, yeah, there we are. I'm looking at y'all at the bottom, and I want to make sure I'm looking at you guys at the top. I'm sorry, honey, if I say your last name right. Hurling?
Ian, yeah.
Ian Hurling. I'm sorry. And if anybody knows, I'm terrible at reading names.
Yes.
And I'm terrible
No,
even
I
more
am.
at remembering them.
That's not the worst murdering I've heard of it, so we're all right.
Okay, good. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's very kind because I murder names horribly.
Yes. Well, I think all you guys have seen my last name on my YouTube, so I've had some butchery. So it's okay.
I say every character's name wrong, and that's one of the most common comments I get. Is on
Yeah,
every
I'm
show.
telling you, I'm notorious for it. Even reading the guys in the chat's names. Look, I'm in the South. We never learn vowels properly down here, and we make up our own.
Ain't that true?
Same thing here in Pittsburgh.
Okay, well, good. So then, it's countrywide. All right, so we're all on the same page.
Alabama education system.
That's right. Hey, RayBarns knows, and welcome, RayBarns. Definitely knows the waters around here. He is close by, and so he knows exactly what I'm talking about down here. So welcome, RayBarns, to you, hun, as always.
Thank you, Ian, for having me.
Always.
What's
One
up,
of the
Fromley?
he's been around for quite a while in these parts. So yeah, guys, welcome to him. He has definitely been in the chats. He's been in the discourse. He has been around. So always welcome to RayBarns. And we also have with us, let's get to these ladies at the top. We got, I'm sorry, Jenny Nicasio.
Yeah, Nicasio.
Nicasio. I'm so sorry. Welcome to you, hun.
What? Hi.
Host of Chasing Prophecy, and I love a good prophecy. So yeah, guys, you definitely want to go check out her channel and see what that's all about.
Me and Tom.
Yeah. Look, I love y'all's channel, but I've actually watched not just YouTube, but I've been over there checking out some of the other guys over there in the Oracle Talk Radio space. So yeah, there's quite a bit actually. There's quite a few of you guys over there that are interesting.
Yeah.
A lot of discussion happening over there all the time. So you guys check that out for sure. And last but not least, for certain, because you, Miss K, welcome, have also been highly requested by our audience.
Yes.
And we are just pleased to have you with us, hun. How are you doing tonight?
Thank you. I'm excited to be here and to talk about it with all you guys.
Yes.
I feel crazy about the fact that I don't do theories on this show, but I know how to do theories, but it's because I'm always questioning. I don't know, but I think I'm going to have some fun tonight.
Oh yeah, I hope so, because I'm telling you, I have some questions myself. This episode was quite a doozy, and my head was already spinning in the last seasons. This now where they've set this season up, I don't know where they're going to go.
Yeah.
That is the best feeling I think I've had since we started the show, is to have no idea where we're headed next.
Yes, indeed. Thanks again for having me.
Yes, and of course. I mean, I'm telling you guys, this was something that Dana came up with, and I'm so glad she did, because we've met so many people through this and had so many good conversations about the show that everybody loves. Like it's brought so many people together, and it's I don't even have words for it. It's something that really it's meaningful for me and Dana, because like I said, we love to hear what everybody else thinks about the show. Me personally, most of the people in my real life, my family and stuff, they're not into the show, so I don't have that to talk about. So coming here to talk with you guys and everybody in the chat, it's most people in my real life think I'm crazy when I talk about the show, and I'm like, oh, did you see? You won't believe what happened on this episode. They're looking at me like, oh, what are you watching?
Oh,
It's hard to even condense it into a sentence. What is the show about?
Yeah.
It's like
Really?
people in the town they can't leave.
And then now we're like,
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe a weird wonky time travel paradox type dream echo
quantum mechanics
sequence.
and dream logic, all these different things.
Is it like astral projecting time travel? I don't know. I'm
Hmm.
not sure.
Yeah.
I don't know about that
It
one.
makes sense. Trust me. You gotta watch
I
it.
love that. I love that you said that though, Scarlett, because that's honestly the reason why I started doing reviews on YouTube anyway, because I wanted to talk to people about it in my family, but they just weren't. Nobody was catching on. So I'm like, you know what? I have to go somewhere where I know people are gonna
Exactly.
connect.
Yeah, same here. It was always a solo adventure watching TV shows, and I have opinions about things. I gotta voice my opinion, so.
Exactly.
Yes, and it's always fun to hear, because there's so many people in our chat and your guys' chats and all, and some of the other ones that have come on here where we frequented, and the stuff that everybody comes up with the perspective is that I value more than anything, because that is what, as a community, when we're in the Discords, before I even was a streamer, before any of that, and I was just in the chat hanging out, those conversations were so meaningful because we connected. Everybody kind of came together around something to figure out how it worked. Like we were coming together to try to solve something, and that's fun. It takes all the other negative stuff of life out of it, and you're just back to like a problem solving community kind of thing, and it really kind of brings people together. So I truly do enjoy that. But speaking of our chat, let's see who we have with us tonight. And first and foremost was Meow Row Growl. Welcome, hun. Always glad to see you hanging out with us. Hope you're having a good night. We also got Woodrow Nichols. What's up, hun? The kids on the slabs poured their hopes into the roots of the faraway tree. Which one? The big one on the far right of the peach truck map? Who knows?
That's a good question. Yeah, which tree is it?
That's right. It could be any of them. And we were going to dive into that because that is a good question. That is going to tie into some of the questions we have tonight, because that whole scene to me was so dark as everything we've seen in this show. To hear some of the confirmations in that scene were, what
happened to the children? Why were they murdered?
They were born in darkness and murdered in darkness, and the people they loved, and Fatima. Oh, it's a dark episode. We're gonna get through it. It was a hard one. Let's see. Fromly Theory, welcome, hun. One tree for each kid. Who knows? It is possible. We don't even know how many trees there are exactly. Is there just 7 of them? It's a possibility.
Could be.
We got Dark Elf hanging out with us tonight. What is up, hun? Always glad to see you. We got Jackson Rains. What's up, everybody? Awesome, hun. Glad to see you hanging as always. And of course, Delcinia, our awesome mod. Hope you're having an awesome Monday. Because it's Monday, right? That's where we're at.
Yeah.
I have to double check sometimes to make sure. And what's up, Bitey? Our awesome Bitey. Always supporting us in the chat. And everybody. Bitey, if anybody doesn't know Bitey, I don't know how Bitey gets around. Bitey knows everything. I mean, if you have a TV show and you want to know about it, I don't care how obscure it is, Bitey has heard about it, and Bitey will bring it to your attention, and probably knows like more than the lore of the show as well. I'm like,
maybe Bitey needs to be on the panel then.
Yeah, Bitey's a good man.
We have tried. Yeah. Bitey's a shy kitty. He doesn't come on panel.
Understandable for sure.
He's definitely a smart one though. I'll say that much. And also welcome Baby Clay Media. I believe you should be coming on with us a little later on tonight. We'll be hanging out in the chat for now. So welcome, hun. We will definitely hear what you have to say later on tonight. And welcome to Elizabeth. Hello. Hi, everyone. Always glad to see you. Let me scroll through. You guys are killing it in the chat. Let me see if I can. Who else we got? Joan R. Welcome, hun. Welcome. We keep going. Let me see it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just trying to get through everything. You guys are killing it in the chat already. Theory crafting. Got some good questions in there. ICPM. Welcome, hun. Always glad to see you. Someone who does love to come on panel, and she loves From Mom, which is Dana's. If you don't know, it's Dana's mom. It's Mama Susie, and we got her whole avatar now. She's coming on the radio every Saturday night with us, what she calls it. This is the radio for her. And PM is like her biggest fan, so she definitely loves to come on and ask questions of the From Mom.
Yes, and when she watched this last episode at like 1 o'clock in the morning, I just got a bunch of curses in my text message.
Oh no. Oh, I can imagine. Oh, I know she's not happy. You guys, so Saturday night, dropped a lot of F-bombs. We're gonna find out this Saturday what Mom thinks.
I did too. After watching it, for sure.
And welcome, Fletcher the Crobadacle. Welcome, hun. I see Stephanie 1816. Hey, everybody. Welcome. AAMM, or is it just AM? Put the double AM, so I'm thinking you're saying AM, but then I'm not sure. See, they catch me with this stuff in the chat, and I got to figure out the names. And I'm terrible if it's supposed to mean something else, and I'm way off. Let's see. Vanessa M, welcome to you, hun. I see Lady Stoneheart. Of course, we got RayBarns in the chat and on the panel. The man in black is hanging with us. Let's see who else. I think I might just about got everybody for now. I think. Oh, I see Crazy Mad.
I
What
was
is
just gonna
up?
say, don't skip him, because then he's just gonna accuse
Oh,
you.
I didn't even read it, Dana. I
Yep.
clicked it without even reading what he was
He's
going to say
already
about.
starting trouble. He's already starting trouble.
For those who do not know, there is a great war that is upon us, and it's the Stouffer's versus homemade lasagna wars, and it has been raging for quite some time now.
Yes, he's just mad. He's salty like his lasagna.
Oh, shots fired. Oh.
Don't know that I've had Stouffer's, so I might be on the sidelines on this one.
Well,
Who's
if
making
you
the
don't know,
homemade?
Dana is team homemade.
Me.
And Crazy
Mama
Mad.
Susie.
It depends who's making it, though. Like, that's a very big factor. Like, can you actually cook? You know.
Well, this is the thing. Okay, we gotta let Dana she's Italian, and she is team homemade.
Well, that is natural. That makes sense.
Crazy Mad is team Stouffer's. I don't believe he's Italian. I don't know what.
Oh, he better not be, because
I love it, Dana. The whole New Yorker Italian voice changed in an instant.
Oh God! See what he does to me? You see what he does to me? I try to be professional, and then he brings out the crazy New Yorker. I can't take it.
I'm from Brooklyn. Hi.
Oh, there we go.
Let it.
There we go.
I'm trying to reserve for now, but it's probably gonna come out soon.
Hard. It's hard.
But I can't even hold mine back. I'm straight. My voice straight country. I don't even try.
It comes out in my recaps all the time, and I'm always trying to like be so like, you know,
right?
Like I'm like, you know, trying to read my notes, and then I get in my feelings about something, and I'm like, I can't help it.
Yes. And then you get tripped up with words like coffee, and people are just like,
coffee.
What did you just say?
Hot dog.
What did you say? Yes. So.
Oh boy.
Hey, it's like I said, mine's very strong, so I don't even try to hide it.
That's right. Embrace it.
It is what it is.
I didn't think I had an accent. And then one time I went to out in California, and I was saying something, and they were like, Pittsburgh. I was like,
wow.
What? How did you know?
They just knew exactly where you were from.
Yeah, something I said.
So you're from Pittsburgh too, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, must have been, or at least known people from Pittsburgh.
Yes, that's awesome, man. I love the accents. That's another thing that's awesome about this, because you get to talk to people not just from all over the country, all over the world, and that experience it's pretty priceless. I mean, I don't know. You could travel, or you could embrace the internet a little bit, and that way you can kind of communicate with those around you, and at a fraction of the cost. I mean, this economy.
Thanks to the internet. Yeah.
But let's see who else we got. Jen Hack is hanging out with us tonight, and I saw a few more of you guys. I saw Arrow, our awesome Arrow. And for those of you who do not know, in the Fever Discord, we have some channels in there for some friendly songs. The one that played in this intro was created by the chat. We did some polls. We did some fun streams where they got to come up with the lyrics. We put it into a program. We created a song or two with it. Arrow took to it like just like a dream. I mean, this man took to that program, and he has now created so many songs after that we have a whole channel dedicated to the From Song album, sort of soundtrack, as it will. And so, yes, guys, go check it out in the Discord, and we're gonna get some more put in there. But I'll tell you guys, we got music, and we're gonna have videos as well.
All right.
So I believe he's
like
working
that
on
intro.
the Scrubville Christmas album as well.
Christmas album?
Yes, I believe
he did it with Robert. Robert's already got the Christmas Carol. It's the Fromville Christmas Carol. Robert.
No way.
I'm telling you, man, this one's hot over there. I mean,
one of our awesome
and stuff, man. Oh my god.
Yeah, one of our awesome From Brains. His name's Robert Saunders, and when he's a theory crafter. And last Christmas, he did something to where he broke down A Christmas Carol and From, and made like all these awesome connections, and it was like telling a Christmas story, and it was great. So
speaking of, there's Robert Sanders is in the chat.
There he is.
There he is. Yes, we're talking about you, Robert.
There's enough spirits in From that it can work. You can have the 3 ghosts. You got Father Khatri, you got,
Yes, he kind of did that sort of thing, and it's so interesting. It's so interesting.
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
Oh yeah. But welcome everybody. I see so many of you guys piling in still. But we are going to get ready to dive into this because we have quite a bit to get to tonight.
Oh,
and we got
cousin.
Yes, Terry. It's Terry.
She's not here.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. She's
Did you
not
go
here.
check the fridge?
I'm absolutely positive she's at her own home.
Terry, did you steal the whipped cream? We love you, Terry. Look, I'm down with it though. I love some good, just like Cool Whip and it's cool strawberries. Look, I'm serious. Whipped cream and fruit is like the best. It's
yum.
Definitely.
It's
healthy and also not. So
yeah, it's got just it's a little bit of sugar in it, but it's not too bad. The dairy,
could be
better
worse.
than ice cream, I think. So you're good.
Guys, there are people that are pissed off at Elgin.
Oh, are they already?
He was aggressive in this episode. He was really just tugging on her. Like,
yeah,
she could have easily fallen and hit her head on something. Like it could have gotten real bad.
Right?
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I'm gonna pull these screenshots up and then we're gonna dive into it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's like, is he
it's
possessed
weird.
or what is
Very
the
weird.
question?
Yeah, because there's a million things that boy could have said to Fatima that I think she would have went with him willingly.
Yeah.
Like, I do not think he had to go all psycho in a van giving kids candy bit.
Like, there's an urgency to it. Like, it has to be now. Like, he knows. Like, does he doesn't even know that she killed the Tilly, right? Like, he doesn't know that. So what is, like, it has to happen now? What is that urgency? Why didn't he try that tact where he would actually try to convince, like, hey, this will solve the problem, it'll get the spirit out of you and all this stuff. Like, that's a very good question for sure.
I'm wondering though, does he not know the way the camera seems to be telling him everything? I don't know. Maybe he probably doesn't know, but I'm just saying, like, it's a possibility.
Yeah, it could have been told off screen for sure.
Weird, because the way that the way he's talking about the baby later and stuff, as if they've had more conversation. I think even Delcinia last week was saying something like that, I believe.
Yeah, he has to know
a lot more
than he's letting on.
Yeah,
maybe next episode we'll get like flashbacks or something, see his perspective, what's going on with him, because they definitely left it as a mystery in this one.
Yeah.
But it's such a drastic change in his character because he's more like mild-mannered,
right?
That there has to be some justification for it. Maybe he's hearing the voice of this kimono-wearing lady in the same way Sarah does and some other characters do.
Yeah.
So
leave it up to Fromville to make people, step out of character.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody stays the same.
Not at all.
Yeah.
But welcome to JH. He just snuck in there on us.
I know. I'm sorry. I didn't see you. I got to remember to scroll down in StreamYards because we got
look at all these beautiful faces. I have to get on camera, I guess.
I know.
Oh,
you got to.
One of them I know very well. Hello, Miss K.
Hi, how are you? When she said your name, I said, wait a minute, not Thejhreview. I was like, small YouTube world.
I'm here.
I got to get one of those shirts from Ali.
Yes. Oh, yeah. That's too cute.
I didn't hear about that until this season because I just watched the show on my own. I didn't make videos about it.
I was today years old, so.
Yeah, right. It works. I wonder who came up with that, like, originally.
It's cute.
I don't even remember. I don't even know.
Yeah, we heard it. We started talking with it back in Jeremy's chat from like season 1.
Well, because I didn't come until I didn't come until like the beginning of season 2.
Yeah, I had COVID and I binged through the first 2 seasons.
Shout out to my favorite
on the free
mod
trial.
in the world, PM. PM is in the chat.
Oh yes, that's our girl.
Demon baby.
That's
all you Fatima haters.
Yep.
I have some.
Hey, she's not going in the goddamn box, okay?
There you go.
Look, man, boy,
there we go.
It's wild though. Like, poor Fatima, man. This shit right here, it broke my heart because that whole ending of her crawling trying to get out was just, and
Yeah.
Elgin, that smile on his face when he's talking to her, like,
Was it
I
a smile or was it more like a grimace, like a struggle?
Yeah, it was creepy.
You know?
It wasn't like a normal smile, but it was so heartbreaking.
Yeah, it was definitely something off.
I mean, just like even just the visuals, right? She's literally he's like stalking behind her. Such a horror like scene.
Yeah, for sure. And she's
I
the
think
one
he
who
knew
just
he-
killed somebody. It's like a reversal.
I think he knew he had to do it. So
Yeah.
it's something that's
It's a really hard. There were a few like ethical dilemmas, I would say, in this episode that it's kind of hard to say whether it's right or wrong. You know, with a lot of the scenarios, like even with Donna and trying to say bring Fatima back. You know, that whole thing. Of course, I'm sure we'll talk about that later. But like, it's just so much when it comes to what side are you on? You know what I'm saying? But I can't really look at Elgin as this bad guy, because there's something that he believes he knows, that it may be a sense of urgency. He tells her this baby is not yours. We've get this kimono lady telling him, listen, I can help you. You know what I mean? So, and at the same time, I think we also should remember that Elgin has some type of like prophetic gift. Even before, when he first came on the bus, he was telling everybody that they should turn around. Remember? And that's what then what's his name? I think Randall was telling him in this episode, look, I'm sorry that we should have listened to you. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, there might be some, urgency, and that's probably why he's like, listen, I'm sorry I got to do this, but and I'm not saying he's right for it. I'm just saying it's kind of hard for me to be like so hard on him right now.
Well, it's like, where do you draw the line? Because Sarah had the same thing where she's like, the voice is telling her everybody's going to go home if you just kill Ethan. And obviously that's way too far to do that.
Way too.
So it's definitely giving the same vibes of like Sarah or even for me, like even how Martin manipulated Boyd, like this weird manipulation of I help you, you help me, and everybody will be safe. Like there's this high level of manipulation going on. Speaking of this, Dana, what is our first question tonight for our panelists?
Yes. So how we typically start off our roundtables is, what was your favorite moment from this episode? And I know this episode had a lot of bangers. So we'll start with you, Miss K. What was your favorite moment from this episode?
Wow. My favorite moment from this episode was the standoff between Jim and Jade. Okay.
That's mine.
I was so happy that Jade came back at Jim, like, listen, bro, like, first of all, your wife is not 9. Like, I can't put ideas in their head. And he even respectfully, he did try to like explain it, like she noticed symbols. She did, you know what? I'm not even going to explain nothing to you. Like, if you have issues with your wife, your grown wife, you go and talk to her. Don't talk to me, and then he's like, out of the two of us here, I'm the only one that's trying to help. And then, I didn't like how Jim was trying to throw shots at him like, you're a lonely, selfish man, this and that. And it's like, why are you coming at him like that? You know what I mean? Like, it's like misdirected anger, I feel like, because he's not getting through to his wife. So now he wants to try to go to Jade to say, hey, back up. You know what I'm saying? But I just loved how Jade handled that whole situation. Like, listen, and it does. And if I am selfish, at least what I'm doing is what difference does it make if it's going to help us get out of here?
And I loved it. He was like, "What? So what if I'm the smartest prick in the room?
Right?
Like, who gives a shit?
Exactly. Yeah. If it's gonna get us out of here, who cares? And then to put the cherry on top, you had Henry over there saying, listen, next time, let me give you some unsolicited advice. Okay? The next time your wife says shut the F up and listen to her, okay? So that was
a good one.
Good advice.
Well, because think of it, Henry is right now the only one who's literally been in Jim's shoes.
Yes.
So, and he literally lost his family because of it. At least Jim was able to go through this and believe Tabitha from the start because he's living it with her.
Yeah.
So like he's trying to basically be like, dude, slow down, because he came in that bar hot. Like he was like, open that door and was like, like ready to just start. But that is
touching him. He's like,
Right?
get your hands off me.
Yeah, right.
that was great. And what about you, Miss Denny? What was your favorite moment from the episode?
Same one.
Yep, you like that one?
I like that. I love that one, especially when Henry gave it to him. That was my favorite. I loved
Yeah.
it. So he said, you dropped the F-bomb. I loved it. It was like, because he's real quiet. He just wants to go in there for a drink, and he just enjoy himself. It just was good. And Jim was getting really on my nerves.
Yeah.
Jim's getting
Yes,
on my nerves.
he's getting
big
on a
time.
lot of people's nerves. He's
Yeah.
he's not well liked very much right now.
No.
But what are you gonna do? But what about you, Ian? What was your favorite moment from the episode?
I think when Julie went through the portal and they showed how Boyd got the rope down the well and how he got out of the well.
That was interesting.
Very.
That's a good one.
Very
That's
key
a
moment
really
in
good
the
one.
episode.
That was like the thing I think everybody was kind of waiting for.
Yeah.
Who
I'd
threw
forgotten
down
about
that
it.
friggin' rope? And now, how much you guys want to make a bet? How many of us are going to go back and rewatch the original scene with Martin and Boyd and trying to figure out, is she saying, do we hear him talking?
I already
What-
told you, Dana, I'm doing that. I was telling you as soon as I
What
watched
episode is that?
Episode 2 of season 2. I just rewatched it. Or
Season
was it
2.
one or two?
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
We're all going to be
rewatch that.
sitting there.
I just rewatched it.
And we talk
Few
about
hours
this show.
ago.
We're all going to be dissecting it, and we might all have to come back together and just do a rewatch of that and be like, see,
I didn't hear anything for the record.
It's so confusing, though. Honestly, it's giving the whole Hodor effect, like from Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
Like,
the
I
time
just-
travel thing.
Yeah, I can't wrap my head around it.
Yeah.
You never hear her, but you hear the guy that's chained up
Yeah.
tell her she's got to go, and but you never actually hear her.
Yeah.
That's another good pick. What about you, Mr. RayBarns? What was your favorite part of the episode?
When Elgin pulled her down the stairs.
Oh,
Wow.
He was being nice at first. He was nice, Elgin, and then he turned
into a monster.
Yeah, he turned into ominous Elgin.
Ominous Elgin.
It's like a whole shadow came over him. He pulled it down. And he's like, I gotta do it now. Like,
yeah.
Us, LG.
you gave me no choice but to put my hands on
Manhandle
it.
you.
Yeah, that
Right,
was
we
the
tried to
shock
play
moment
nice.
of the episode for sure.
We tried to play nice, but now I got to snatch you up.
Yeah.
And he did it too. So and that's where the other reason why that's my favorite scene is because that was the end of the episode. That's the cliffhanger, and I'm hoping they start off at like right there.
They often do. Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll definitely see. And what about you, JH? What was your favorite moment of the episode?
As much as I like Stepdaddy Jade telling Jim Bob SquarePants off.
Right.
I gotta go with my guy Martin, back by popular demand. You want to see Martin? I enjoy seeing Martin.
I don't think that's the last we've seen of him either. I think it's gonna,
Martin.
Yeah.
Martin is the priest, I bet. The priest that, yep, I think he's the priest.
That's
Look at
a
him.
big,
Look at him carefully.
Yep, that's a big theory.
I have a feeling
A
he's
lot of
somebody
people
we
were
know.
doing the comparisons.
Yeah.
You think so?
I
go
think
entity. I go for
think it's gonna be a
he's the
twist at
entity,
least.
just looking like
Yes.
somebody that's been in prom before.
Yes,
Playing
me and
trick.
Scarlett believe
My
very
first
much that he
instinct
is
when
the big bad playing games.
Oh, it could be, yeah. My first instinct when I watched the episode, and you can see in my video, was I said Randall, because both Martin and Randall both had a similar line where they talked about how there's worse things here than dying. So they both said that, like in this season, Randall said that on the bus, and you can even see, I think Boyd was like recognizing he's heard that before. And you saw Martin say that back in season 2. So that was my first instinct, but then I was like, oh no, Martin's got the Marine tattoo right here, and Randall doesn't have that because we see him with short sleeves a lot. We would have seen that. So that's the one thing. It's like, okay, it can't be Randall unless he gets the tattoo later, which would be weird. But
Possibly.
I always got kind of a vibe he might be in the armed forces, though. So, I don't know. It wouldn't be too out of character.
He has
for
that
Randall.
kind of personality trait.
Yeah.
So I could definitely see that. But what about you, Tom? What was your favorite moment from the episode this week?
So I really did like that interaction between Jade and Jim. Jim does, he's very unlikable, but instead of piggybacking off that, I wanted to talk about my favorite moment being as Boyd struggles with his qualities, right? How the qualities they had in season 1 to make him a great leader, have been, they've been wavering. Let's be honest, they've been wavering. It seems I appreciate that Kenny seems to be growing up more lately, especially the last 4 episodes or so. He's seeming to pick up some of the slack that Boyd has lost, and I do appreciate that, especially in the writing of it. And I think you're going to see more of him and Acosta, together. You know what I mean? As this continues to go on, but I really did appreciate the character development with him. I mean, he did lose his dad, he did lose his mom, and it seems like he's becoming more of, actually a leader of the people in From too. I can see him making that step. So I appreciate that build up too of that character.
Yeah, totally.
That's really awesome. And I just apologize. Nico is playing with her toy. So if you hear any squeaking in the background of my stuff, my dog always plays with her toy because she knows I'm live. So, but that's a really good point. And what about you, Brian? What was your favorite moment of the episode?
My favorite moment had to be the getting into the lore stuff with the children. And I think it sets up the end of the show with the end is the beginning thing. And I have some theories about that whole scene when we get to that. But that to me was like, I just get excited when it's like, oh, big actual answers to things. And yeah, I got excited in that scene. So that would be mine for sure.
Oh yeah, no, that's a big one. That was a big one in this episode. It definitely laid down some darkness that maybe we had speculated on as a fandom, but now very clearly laying it out for us.
Yeah.
Or maybe not as clearly, but definitely laying the darkness out for us. I don't know if there's still speculation as to what is it, blood? Is it their soul? What is being poured? It's hope, but what is the hope? Is it just some figurative? But we'll definitely, I'm definitely going to get into that when we as we go through the episode.
Yeah,
definitely good pick.
And what about you, Miss Scarlett? What was your favorite part of this episode?
I'm probably going to have to agree with our man here on the last one. This one was probably, I mean, of course, you already know I'm going to love the Jade and Jim. I mean, anything with Jade in it, I'm going to love. That's just my go-to. He's my go-to favorite character. Everything Jade says, pretty much, I feel like he's just talking to us as an audience. Like, there's so much in his conversations and dialogue that I pull from. But with this moment, there's so much in it, and it's about the kids. It's about that storytelling, everything you were saying, but also we're reaffirming things about Victor that we've speculated on. Okay, so now we know that his memories are always going to have a question mark behind them, and he's been telling us that for the whole entirety of the show. He's told us that the pictures are what help him remember. I never wrote the pictures. I never drew the pictures on this because I didn't want to. He's like, it was so bad he didn't even want to remember it. So it was very interesting how he's starting to remember these memories and how he remembers them and who helps him along the way to sort of get through to that sort of block that he has. Tabitha, now it's the second time sort of that motherly instinct kicks in and she's sort of calming him through it. And then they bring Sarah in with it on this one, which I love because they've already set Sarah up in the season as someone for him to confide in, and the way they set that up. So these pieces leading to this moment in the storyline, I really enjoyed. It was like so many different pieces, so many different elements that all came together so he could remember in order to give us this almost horrifying memory, and so dark for what these children are. We're getting the boy in white again. He's fully talking to another member of society now. It's not just these little sort of, I'm sorry, Tabitha, little kind of visions or things. This one was so much more real for the boy in white, so much more saying, okay, whatever we think about him, as important as he is, what he's got is so much more important. And I'm more sus of him now after this episode than I've probably ever been, because we've been through this. Miranda went through the tree or was going to go through the tree. It did not work out. Tabitha went through it. it seemingly brought her right back. No children were saved.
Mm.
They're playing with them, with these kids, and he played with Tabitha with those kids in the first place. That motherly instinct they keep showing, talking about the kids being, not their kids anymore. The children constantly reiterating these points, all to this moment that was beautifully displayed. I love how they trolled us with Jasper. I still think there's going to be something with him.
Nothing burger.
Well, I'm hoping they're not going to drop it fully, right? Like
just like that suitcase.
Well, and we see Jasper more than we saw Jasper in a vision, so it makes me think there still might be something else with him that we're missing that we haven't fully discovered yet. So I'm waiting to see if they're gonna that was the end of Jasper. Okay, we've gotten all we're gonna get from him, or if there's still more to it because Jade saw it, which was I'm still hoping we're gonna get a Jade Jasper encounter. Again, more in here and then in the caves. But
me too.
Sorry, I ramble. Data knows. Let's see what you guys in the chat are
what does
saying.
our chat think?
Okay, let's see, guys. I know we were you guys have been talking about a lot of different things, and I don't know if you guys told us exactly what your favorite episode or moment of the episode was, but I do know you guys are talking a lot about the topics that you panelists have definitely picked out as your favorite moments. So let's just see what you guys were saying. And Jen Hack said Elgin acting like an experienced serial killer in that episode. Yes, he was quite creepy. In fact, I felt so bad for Elgin all the way up until this episode that I'm second guessing. I mean, he's turning a little Sarah crazy here, so we'll have to wait and see where he goes with that. Definitely tell you that was the most horrific scene at the end they left us with. The slashing, the gore, all that's horrifying. She was literally kidnapped and dragged into a dungeon that no telling what the hell is going to happen to her with a weird supernatural baby that is not hers. Like, who, it's just, oh, man.
But doesn't it also make you guys think that, is it this place? We've always looked at Sarah thinking, oh, maybe she chopped up a few people before she got into Fromville. She might be a little crazy. Does she have a background that makes her somewhat crazy? But we've now seen Sarah go somewhat psychopathic, Abby go psychopathic by shooting everybody. Now we see Elgin kind of going down this path that we're all like, oh my God, he's a future serial killer. What the fuck are we watching? So is it maybe a product of this place being a nightmare, being darkness, being this place that seems to be really almost a hell of sorts?
Yeah.
Do you guys think that this place is making them do that now?
Absolutely. If I could say something to that.
Sure.
I've always felt like Sarah was, for me, I always looked at Sarah like, I feel like people, it was horrible what she did, but I believed her when she said she was hearing voices. I didn't feel like she was already a psychopath. I thought that she was really someone that was a victim of this place. I think that Julie said it best when she told, I forgot who she said this to, but she said it to Elgin when they were getting high. She said, this place likes to screw with people. They want to torture you. You know what I mean? So I feel like because now they have these talismans and they're kind of like, they know how to survive through the night and things of that nature. Now it's like, okay, let's mess with them another way. Let's screw with their minds. Let's get it to a point where we get into someone's head and now they're going to start picking each other off from the inside, which is what we saw happen with Sarah. We've seen one of the best people, in my opinion, with the best hearts is Fatima. And for this to finally happen to her, I just feel like it's a cruel thing that the place is doing. That's what I think. So I just wish that people would share their experiences, have a bonfire or something like that today, and just like, listen, this is what I heard the other day. I heard voices. There's so many people that are hearing voices right now. Julie,
they need a powwow.
Yeah,
They need a
a
frontal
powwow
powwow.
because the thing is, if they had a talk and they saw that this was something that happened so often between everyone, they would not look at Fatima like she was the killer or she, like she's that dangerous. They would probably really accept Sarah back into society, and they would even accept if Elgin went to them with the story. Like, here's what I've been seeing. You know what I'm saying? And he could possibly share the pictures. Now, here's a question that I do have, though, before I stop. If he shared the pictures with other people, would they see the same thing he saw?
Oh, there's no telling with that freaky camera. There is absolutely no telling. That camera's, I love it. I love it because it's not just the level of supernatural. Like, hey, we know ghosts can interact, or at least in that realm of conversation, people would say, okay, ghosts can interact with things. It's this kind of level of a ghost entity, so it can do these. But to have an image that is not even there at the time, it's a future image, even, right? It's not even an image. So here we are again, back to something we're going to get into. I'm going to retouch on that. Actually, I want you to save that one because it's going to get into the time travel and other things that we're going to get into tonight. And I do want to get to some of you guys in the chat real quick because if we want to, we can make that our next question, Dana. I just want to make sure I don't forget about you guys in the chat because that is something I want to get into. The camera, Elgin, the dreams, all this stuff, it's all connected and it's wonky, it's crazy, it's all that they have told us that Tom back in season 1, 2 told us about this world being and the physics and all that kind of stuff. So it is definitely something I do want to. I'm gonna put a pin in that one. That was a good question. We'll come back to that one.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, I believe Fatima when she's saying that she feels possessed, like it wasn't her. I think that's just how this place operates. I've said in a past video that it's like this world uses the people there as pawns in their spiritual warfare. Similar to, I don't know if any of you guys saw the show Twin Peaks, but that was kind of like the big story. Was like this evil force beyond our understanding took over somebody's body and made them do something terrible. And there's a force for good that's on the other side, and they're constantly using people and taking them over and doing things with that. I think it's the same type of story here.
It could be. Well, let's see what you guys in the chat are saying and thinking about all of this tonight. Definitely don't want to forget about you guys. Peter Griffin says, I still got my money on Jim in that one. Okay, so he got his money on Jim in the bar fight. See,
Jim's next.
Haley says, love Jade telling Jim the truth. All right. So, and again, the Jade and Jim setup, and definitely in the chat, you guys in the chat, we have been going back and forth with it. We talked about it. We got into it last week. Let me tell you guys, we talked about it, and I got something. We're going to get back into it again tonight because I said something on one of the last streams about it that we were going to see in this episode which parent did what, and I'll put my pin in it. You could already, I think everybody knows, if they know me, they know where I'm going with it. They know who I'm going to blame. So we're going to get into that definitely. And C. Masterton says, Jim ain't getting none at night. LOL. He better go get Jasper.
Leave Jim alone. I had to
Look,
step
man,
in
I got a
Cloud.
bone to pick with his butt because everybody's telling me how good
Ray
Jim
finally
is.
said, that's it. I got to defend. Somebody's got to defend him.
Yeah,
Look,
Cloud ain't here, so I got to do it for
I could
him.
have heard it up until
Cloud's
this
not
episode.
with us.
Me and Cloud might have to have a conversation. Me and him going to have our own stream about it because me and him might have to debate it. I'm telling you, it gets real around here with the Jim and Jade Tabitha triangle they got in the show. But let's see. Stephanie 1816 says they didn't find the fanny pack. And yes, this comment I definitely wanted to highlight because we have fanny pack gate. It's real, and I'm gonna bring up the shot later, but because we talked about it last stream. When she is stabbed in that place in the greenhouse, Miss Fanny Pack Granny ain't got no fanny pack no more. That fanny pack just all of a sudden she carries this thing around everywhere. Where the hell did it go?
Yep.
Who's got the fanny
that it was
pack?
going to
That's
happen.
another
That's
question
why
that we will definitely
her tarot
discuss.
card.
But you want to get into the time travel, right, Scarlett? After
Yes,
this?
I do. No, I was just saying that was definitely a good comment, and this was sort of what everybody was saying in the chat. So I definitely wanted to shout that comment out from Stephanie because that is definitely one of the things that we're going to get into. It is
great point. Yeah,
it's fanny pack gate or fanny gate. Yeah, we're gonna call it fanny gate. There we go, fanny gate. I like it. Let's see. Woodrow says I like the church basement scene, and yes, that one was definitely one of my favorites as well. And William says the Polaroid camera is now the star of the show. Yes, the Polaroid camera. What is it? What is it about? I mean, it seems like it's more than just a normal camera, but then again, the objects in this world tend to do that. So let's see what else we got. I'm going to get at least one more of you guys. Elizabeth says, I used to give Jim the benefit of the doubt. I felt like Tabitha was so unreasonable in their arguments. But oh man, can't defend him after this. He pulled with Jade and treating Tabby like that. Yeah, he got put in his place a little bit this episode, but he had a good talking to. I'm hoping now maybe he's gonna come around. Henry kind of let him know. Got to redo his vow, and he's maybe Jim will come around now and not treat Tabitha like a 9-year-old child. I'm sorry. It's a whole soapbox. Okay. I have a whole soapbox on it. It irritates me to no end, but yes, let's get into it, Dana.
Yes. So basically, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that Julie time traveled, or do you consider it something else like astral projection? Or what is your theory on the whole Julie going in the ruins with the rope and the time traveling? It's little all over the place, but we will start with you, Ian. What do you take of it?
Well, I think it's a portal of some sort, and it definitely has a time component to it. Because when she dropped a rope down, obviously that was days ago or whatever time frame that is. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's just a portal of some sort. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's time travel per se, but there's a time component to it.
There definitely is. And what about you, JH? What do you take of this whole time travel debauchery?
I'm going to second that. I think we're just using time travel to simplify this because we don't know exactly what it is yet. But I would say it's some type of portal, pocket dimension, maybe, if you want to call it that.
Our pocket dimension.
You
Rest
can
in peace, Dale.
see certain events, things of that nature. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that right now. I don't want to, because when you get time travel, it can get kind of weird if you don't know how to write.
Yeah. It can, and I know me and you definitely, with our lost brains. Do you see this maybe kind of going?
I would compare it to the Jacob's Lighthouse.
That's why I see. That's why I like the way you think. I like the way you think, because I was going basically that way too. So
yeah, I think we're getting more of this. I think they're doing the full Lost time travel.
It did give me season 5 vibes. John Locke stuck in a whale.
Yeah,
yeah.
Right.
Seeing the statue that was just the foot. Now it's the full statue.
I hope we don't get that convoluted.
Yeah.
Not that level, but
you never know. But what about you, Tom? What do you make of this whole time travel storyline?
Oh yeah, no, I think it's exactly what we were talking about. I think these are shown sort of out of order to piece together what happened in certain times. I do think we're going with that. It definitely was some kind of projection, and to me, it was Julie as a character in the show. She's doing her storyline. You guys know that I'm on the simulation video game theory, so she's doing her own storyline, and that person interacts with Boyd to do that. I don't believe it was an astral projection thing because she's physically interacting with the real world, and that time component seems like time travel to us because we watched it how many episodes later, but really it happened at the same time. They just showed it to us a little bit later to keep the confusion going on. So that's where I'm at with that.
That's pretty interesting, because I remember you telling us that you're definitely going the simulation route and like the game route. So yeah. I definitely could see where that would go. And what about you, Brian? What's your take on the time travel?
Well, obviously she didn't fully travel because she's still convulsing on the ground there. So she's in two places at once, but she has that physical effect on the world with the rope. That shows us she is physically there. She has an impact on this world. It was its own like pocket dimension though, like you said there. So I do wonder if this is something that has been happening already. Like maybe some of these visions that we see are actually time travel. You know, what if Father Cautry, it was him alive talking to Boyd? Yeah, what if the Civil War soldier that Jade sees, like what if it really is like a time travel thing going on there? Maybe it's less like the ghosts that we've thought of it before. Maybe there is something like that going on. And you asked if it's astral projection or time travel. My answer is yes. It is both.
It is both. Well, who knows with this show? We don't know where they're going with anything, pretty much. But what about you, Miss Jenny? What do you take on this whole crazy storyline?
I definitely think Julie is in some kind of a time warp. It's sort of like Alice in Wonderland. She went through that little space. She went into the other world. But I think she's channeling too. Because, yes, she's channeling. And because I know a lot of people that do that. And they do the convulsions. They do all that stuff. So I think there's some kind of definite time travel aspect and there's channeling. But I'm going back to the Lost theory because I am watching it and I'm seeing since it is the same writer, the screenplay, whatever, there's so many parallel things. And I am guessing, did you guys all watch Lost? I don't want to give spoilers.
I mean,
you know how it ended.
It's so old. If you haven't seen it yet, it's your fault.
You know how it ended. This one is the same writers. I'm a screenwriter. I have a feeling he's going the opposite way with this one.
Oh, Data.
So
Data knows what you're talking about.
This is all evil.
Yep.
And you just use your imagination because I don't want to spoil it because of people that didn't watch.
Data's definitely going to be on board with that one.
Yes.
So I feel it's going in that way. And going back to Fatima, pure evil. It wants to get the most the person who's you think the most kind and sincere with the heart of gold, and that's when they took Fatima. That's my set theory. So I'll stick with it because I channeling in time travel and the theory about Lost. And
I'm digging that one. I'm
picking Fatima because she's a pure heart, and evil likes that.
Yeah. Very much. And what about you, Miss K? What is your theory on this whole time travel? What is Julie doing? What's going on?
I have this was something that I was lost about, and I shared with you guys earlier that if you watched Game of Thrones, it just brought me back to the whole Hodor thing. ShookEarth Media, when you said that she was like present, it's like she was at two places at once. It was like the same thing with Hodor, like he's convulsing at a young age, but then he's in the present day, he's there to save Bran's life and stuff. So it's like, I'm just so confused because I'm like, well, it's going to confuse me as far as did she just go back in time? Where was she during that time that Boyd needed the rope and all that? So it's just crazy to me. So I don't know. I'm just going to go and say that when it comes to the whole Fatima thing, that I agree with you. Is it Chasing Prophecy? I'm trying to read. Jen?
Yeah, that's me. I'm Chasing Prophecy.
I'm just trying. I'm just trying to keep up with everything. But I agree with you when you say that they wanted to use someone that was pure of heart. I think, and I don't have any faith in this place really, but I feel like it's just all evil, and that even the boy in white had my radar up,
he gives me the creeps,
right? But now I'm starting to wonder, is there good? Because after this story that the boy in white told Christopher, it's starting to sound like there may have been somebody there that was actually trying to save the kids. And I'm thinking maybe it was the dead kimono lady. Like maybe she was the one, and maybe Elgin says the baby's not yours. Maybe it's her baby, and she was the one who loved them and told them the story, and somebody killed her or something like that. Now they need a womb. Someone who's pure, right? like Fatima, not pure, but good-hearted. But also remember, this is a miracle. She never could have kids. So if you put a miracle baby inside this womb, maybe that means that it's like a redemption story. They need this baby for redemption to hopefully save them all. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, it is an
interesting way to
immaculate
look at it.
conception of sorts, right?
Yeah.
So.
That's definitely
Yeah.
an interesting way to look at it. And what about
Yeah.
you, Ray? What is your take on this time travel, astral projection, crazy Julie walking, convulsing? What's your take on it?
Can I ask a question just for clarification?
Sure.
To Jenny and Miss K, are you guys saying that you feel like there's no balance, like it's just straight dark?
No.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I have a little bit of hope now after this episode.
I'm just
I don't
wondering how
know.
they would end that, but
It's just dark to me.
just dark. Okay. Okay.
I feel the same way. I definitely think this is the darkness to the island's light. So
Yes.
I'm very much on
I'm
board.
thinking
with-
it's I'm going there.
Okay.
Yeah, I've
You
gone
full-
there, so
okay.
you can join me on this ride as much as you want.
Definitely. If I wasn't rewatching Lost, I wouldn't see how things are just so parallel to each other. You know what I mean? If I wasn't watching it, I wouldn't see it. But since I'm watching it, wait a minute.
How far have you gotten lost?
I got probably about season was it first season, episode 5. And it's following the same.
Oh.
You know what I mean? It's
You've
just
only gotten
this is her
to the
this is
fifth
her
episode?
rewatch.
But yeah, I watched it
Oh,
before.
rewatch.
This is
Okay.
a rewatch, but I'm going back and I'm looking and I'm like studying both of them at the same time. Like, oh yes, okay, yeah. This is it's just like a little. I guess the writers might have did it just for shits and giggles. I don't know.
I don't know. Okay, and then to answer your question, Dana, as far as the time travel thing, I think that I don't know. So when I went back and rewatched the episode again, one thing that I noticed is that as Julie progressed, like as she walked through, as she was moving through, it seemed like she was moving through time as she was moving, if that makes sense. And I think I'll go along with what Chasen was says. I think it has something to do with some type of astral projection or something like that. It seems like when she crossed that threshold that Ethan was talking about, she kind of went to like a different realm or pocket dimension, like JH was saying, or something like that. But as she moved further into it, it seems like time was moving as she was going through it.
Yep.
Could be. And what about you, Scarlett? What is your take on this madness?
Oh, did we miss 2 people? Did we get everybody? I'm sorry.
I believe we got everybody.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yep, I got my grid. I got my paper.
Okay. Look, we got a big panel tonight. Like, I just gotta make sure we get all you guys in there. Okay. I don't know. All right. So it is pretty much just kind of piggybacking off everything everybody said, and I'm gonna bring the camera into it as well because the camera's doing a sort of similar track, right? Miss K, you brought up the camera, so camera's doing it too. We're getting things in this world that I don't consider it on the same premises of time travel. A lot of what I'm portraying from this world, what I'm seeing, is a weird sort of psychic world, this sort of nightmare psychic pocket. It echoes of the past, present, and future, but they're not so much of time. It's this weird, it's all these dream states they're going through. And I do not believe that they're actually like asleep in this world. I mean, like, this world is the embodiment of what a nightmare realm is. It is where we go when we go to sleep at night. It is that realm. So if we're talking about fairy realms and all these different kind of realms that are in between the dimensions, right? Like, you have dimensions and then you have these little realms in between. And this one just seems to be just dripping with psychic remnants of everything that is embodied of a nightmare. And when these people get trapped here, well, do you not feel like when you're in a nightmare, do you not feel trapped? And how do you get out of the nightmare? Well, a lot of times you have to follow through with it to end the nightmare. And even the beginning is sort of like the end, right? You kind of have to suss out what it is and figure it through to get through it. And kind of how they're getting Julie to go through this is like, okay, you're going deeper into the nightmare. You are going, it's like a dream within a dream. And as you go deeper down and deeper in, you get, I don't know if you've ever had lucid dreaming, but it's so real, as if you were just physically interacting with the things around you, touch, smell, taste, all of that. It is like the VR game that was created within your own brain. And I've done that before. I've had dreams like that my entire life, interacted with them and had to follow through with the nightmare in order to end the repetitive nightmare. So if this is a nightmare, it's a nightmare world and it is repeating itself. We're calling it a cycle. Well, if you have a repetitive nightmare, again, you have to follow through with it. You have to finish it. Mm-hmm. But the underlying issue with this is it's not just a nightmare. This is an actual place that, like I said, if it's the origins of nightmares, if it's the origins of dreams, then that's a little bit trickier, because you're talking about you've got forces that are manipulating you into following through with something, and it's guiding you, right? It's guiding you through the nightmare. It's guiding you to where it wants you to be in this nightmare. It guided Julie to this place in one fashion or another, through her mom. Like these people they're seeing this place in their nightmares. That was when they showed that in this season with Tabitha, seeing this place in a nightmare, a repetitive nightmare. I mean, that she used those words, a repeating nightmare. I've had this nightmare over and over and over again. And if I can just remember what it is, Elgin, of course, he hits on that as well. He's having a nightmare within a world of nightmares. And he's talking about, I can't remember it. But if I can remember it and I can remember what it is, I can follow through with it and finish it. So I don't know exactly how they're playing into pulling the people into this world and why these people are coming into here specifically. But as far as this Whompy time travel stuff, all of these things seem to be connected. I brought up the stuff that Jade sees and all these visions people see. Again, it's just the way they interact with these people. It's like a lucid dream. And as you go through these different realms and corridors, the way she went through this was so much like a dream. The only difference is that you're still in this world, so you're interacting with it. That was the only part I could not place. That part right there is the physics of that. That goes back to what Tom told us of how this place it's got physics, it's got laws and order to it. We don't understand them. They are nothing from what we have ever seen in our own physical world. So they're laying down that foundation for what I think is going to be something new, something that we have not quite seen before. They did it sort of in Lost, right? They did their version of time travel, which was not time travel. It was more like time displacement. So it was weird. It was real funky. People were bleeping in and out of time, going different places. So I think they're going to do that again. It's going to be this kind of reinvented form, and it's not going to be time. It's going to be something and I'm so excited. It's going to be something so far, I hope, beyond our like almost reality that we can kind of possibly think of, but they're going to explain it in a way again that's going to bring us back, and it's going to be beautiful. I'm excited to see it, because the camera's doing essentially time travel. It is taking pictures of something in the future. It doesn't matter if it's 5 seconds in the future, 2 minutes, 3 days in the future. There's just, it's not just even in the future, it's in a different place of the future, not even what's in front of it, right? It's not even taking a picture, okay, this is something in the future of what's in front of the camera.
Yeah. Didn't your guy Jade say something about quantum physics or something like that in like the last episode or two?
He talked about the rifts and dimensional rifts as opposed to time travel.
Yeah.
So they have laid down the groundwork for a lot of that more high sci-fi and even like the dimensional realities, the realities between the dimensions, and the string theories that you guys are talking about in the chat, and all these different. Oh my God. I'll tell you guys, you got to get in the Discord. If y'all are not in the Discords, they're talking about these things. They're talking about these theories and the in-depth research that goes into these theories, especially when we're getting into the sci-fi and supernatural stuff, are phenomenal. But yeah, I'm sorry. I ramble when I get into that kind of stuff because I love it.
It's your channel. That's what you got to do.
Absolutely.
No, but no, I want you guys. I mean, we do this for you guys tonight. This is supposed to be about you guys in the chat, and I ramble about this because we're getting into nightmares.
Well, this is your favorite part.
It's
her favorite part. So
this is what it's all about. Yeah.
Like, She
Dana
loves
knows.
this
Like
stuff.
I created when we did D&D. My whole character is essentially essence around nightmares and dream lore and sort
There you
of
go.
dream demons and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Greek gods and all that kind of thing. So
I had
yeah,
to create a realm in the world just for her creation.
Nice.
I love all that stuff, but I can never do the sci-fi stuff. It's too confusing for me.
Same.
I don't think they're gonna.
Oh my god.
It gets out
Same.
there.
I don't think they're gonna
told
go full
Scarlett-
sci-fi. I really don't.
I
I
was
think it's more
if
like.
we ever talk about
Okay.
the body problem, I'm like, all I'm going to be doing
Oh,
is asking
yeah.
you questions because that show went so over my head that I am like, I'm literally, it's going to be you talking. Me
I
asking
loved it. Oh my god! And we're gonna get to it, guys, in the
being
chat. We were gonna get to three
what
body
the hell is
problems.
going on.
And I started watching that show too, and I was into it, but I didn't get a chance to like. It might have started getting. I don't know.
I
yeah,
thought
no, they go out there.
that
It's
show
out
made
there.
my brain hurt more than From.
They started talking about the protons and they split. I was like, oh hell yes! I was like,
looking at
yes,
Scarlett
we're
like,
full
what
of
is
quantum
this?
now. Let's go, people. We're just
Yeah.
we fucking they blanketed the world with their particle. I was like, okay, yeah, we're good. We're good.
Definitely
I
gonna
was just
try to
like,
review
oh
it,
my
but then I
god,
was like,
Scarlett,
I don't think
this
so.
is gonna like drive me crazy. So I literally have my
It's
notebook
delicious.
of 3 body problem questions and things I want to know for when she wants us to cover it because I am like, it's literally going to be a Q&A from me. Okay, what was this? How did that work? What
Like,
the
and
hell
I
was
don't
it?
fully understand it, but I understand enough to know the sort of. It's not. I'm saying magical because to me, science, magic, it's all sort of interchangeable. So there's a magic behind the physics, and to understand that, or even to start to get somewhere of that understanding of our physical world that we can't even perceive is just. I don't know. It's something delicious about that I like to kind of get into.
I like that. Delicious.
It is. I mean, you start getting into some of these theories out there and you start getting into the dimensional theories and all of that stuff and how these dimensions work, how people portray these dimensions. And they get into how you can kind of get into time travel because certain dimensions do have to do with sort of time and space and how it gets a little wonky and shit. And I can't, like I said, I'm not even explaining it fully, like, because I'm not very good with the terms. So, but if you read it and get into it, you get your mind out there a little bit. You get you thinking, because like I said, I think of like if I want to think of spirits, like even in this, okay, this is full on supernatural. We got spirits, we got all this kind of stuff. Well, what if it's just on another dimension? We only perceive in 3 dimensions. We're barely starting to scratch the surface of 4th dimensions and have an understanding of that. Can you imagine if these things are living on a dimension, interacting with us constantly around us, and we cannot perceive them because our eyes cannot perceive in that dimension? So these forces that we're feeling, when you feel that gust come by you, what is it? And we may never know. We talk about the particles, and if you start watching them, well, now they behave differently because it's as if they are aware. If a particle is that aware, is it living? How much consciousness can a particle have? And that gets into other stuff. I'm sorry. See, I done rambled.
Hey, that's all right. I still think the sci-fi stuff is just like the extra flavor, but I really do think we're in the realm of dreams and the collective unconscious and like stories and even like religion with Father Khatri and stuff like that. Like it's all tied in together. And it's just like the underbelly of the psyche more than like, quantum mechanics or whatever. That's just my take on it. I feel like the show's geared more in that lane than the full blown like 3 body problem sci-fi lane.
Oh yeah,
personally.
and it is. Yeah, no, it's definitely more supernatural. I just like how they bring in that and that you can kind of interchange it especially with the theory crafting. It's
Definitely.
It's fun, and I'll come up with a million theories and throw them away and come back to them like a year later and be like, "Ooh, wait, what did we say back when we was going on this?" Oh,
I feel like Jade in those
themes
scenes was really just taking the role of the audience, and they just like could have very well just plucked those lines of dialogue from the comment section on like streams like this, and the chat and stuff like that. They're like, what is the audience thinking about this? We'll pull that.
But real quick, guys, and I'm going to get into the chat because we have a super chat from Miss 40 Stephanie Hun. Thank you so much for the $5. Who has seen Stranger? Huh?
I was just saying thank you.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. She says, who has seen Stranger Things? The Upside Down is a place even through the mind? Did I read that right? Is a place even through the mind? Yes, I have seen Stranger Things.
I
and
haven't
yes,
yet.
I haven't
that
seen it
world
either,
is
actually.
quite interesting.
I'm gonna
Oh.
start watching it, but I didn't see it.
Another
But-
big fan favorite theory is based off the Stranger Things as well and tied into it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna. Another example would be like the Black Lodge in Twin Peaks. You know, that's like a place that's not a place. Same type of concept.
Absolutely. So thank you, Miss 40 Stephanie, and thank you for the $5. And we're gonna give you some fever, hon.
Welcome to the fever dream. Fever, you're on fire. Welcome to the burning desire. I said fever. Join the party. We're burning all through the night.
I love that.
Yeah, we're working on it. We're new to monetization, and we're trying to figure it all out.
Nice. Yeah, it's good that YouTube lowered the threshold.
Did they? I wondered because I was not even
Yeah.
expecting it, and I was like, "Wait a minute, what? There's an option here for something. Let me click it and explore." And I was like, "Oh shit, I'm monetized now. Wait a minute." But I wasn't ready. I didn't have emojis. I didn't have anything set up, and I was like,
Let's go. Yeah, I had to get 1,000 subs to get monetized.
I know, and that's what I thought it
Me
was. I was
too.
like,
Yeah.
it totally
That's
blew
for
my mind.
Nice.
that's for ad revenue.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
okay.
lowered it for like super chats, right?
Super chats, yeah, it's like
Yeah.
500.
See, I'm still trying to figure it out. I've been reading through that thing, trying to figure out what the hell is going on with it. Because I was thinking it was 1,000. I had to get to 1,000 before I got anything. So I was like, I was surprised when it hit at 500. I was like, wait a minute, what? No, this is not what everybody told me. I was under one impression, and I'm ill prepared. I hate being ill prepared. It throws me off. But yeah, man, that is the fever. We're working on it. Look,
We're getting there. We're getting there.
we're working on name. You can
like
join the
graphics.
fever dream if you would like to today. Be a member. Join the party.
That's the show in a nutshell. The fever dream.
There you go. But
Like
what
I
else
said,
is
man,
our
I
chat
love
saying?
the
So
dream.
what-
But let's see what else. Yeah, let's see what you guys in chat were saying. Let's see. We got David says it's more like their consciousness is traveling, and yes, it's definitely something.
That's a good way to put it.
Absolutely. Well, Elizabeth says I think she astral projection time travel. Okay. Yes, kind of like a little astral projection there, since her physical body was still there. And yes, again, it's some whoppy time travel. Definitely something to it, but I can't wait to see where they go with it. And 40 Stephanie says string theory. Maybe doing a little string theory going on in the show.
10 dimensions.
There's like 12 plus, right? Like there's like.
Is that it?
I
There's
think
always more every time I hear about it.
I think it's 12, but then I think there's like a couple extra there. Depends on which theory you're going with.
Right.
Let's see. And Fromley theory says Julie is in a dream state. We see in a dream state that cicadas can affect the real world when they burnt Kenny's arm. Again, yes, that
True.
repetitiveness of these dreams, the interaction with them, as if this is all just one big lucid dream. It's very strange. Delcidia says that's the ability of a time walker. They can exist in more than one place at a time. Ooh, I like it. Definitely. I will be diving down that little rabbit hole because I've been meaning since this episode aired to really go through what we know of time travel, especially in TV shows and movies, sort of as a comparison, because I knew this was going to be a big topic of, okay, we're proving time travel now. And I was like, well, hang on now. We have all the elements of a lot of different kinds of time travel, but they don't follow one set of time travel rules. Like you'll have a TV show that follows this sort of track. Well, it's like they pulled an element from this movie, they pulled a little element from this TV show, and kind of mashed it up together. So I don't know. We're gonna see. We're gonna suss it out. Something sus going on here. I don't like it.
TV show
Yeah.
Dark would be
Yeah.
good for time travel research.
I'm telling you, look, now that they have completely screwed us in what we could consider this. Oh God! I mean, this is weird. It's out there.
You guys ever try to watch the movie Primer? It's just wall to wall techno babble. Like I don't understand a single
wow.
thing that is being said.
Let's see, we got a few more of you guys I want to get to. We got PM saying, I think the person who loved them and told them the story and talking about. She's talking about the children. I believe.
PM stole my theory.
Told them the story was Tabby and Jade. I think they told them, we'll save you. You will be okay. Like, if not in this life, then another. And they're coming up with these weird sort of rules here and how this world is working. So at this point, I think we always said anything was possible on this show. Now it's like they're doubling down on that, sort of theme of anything. And absolutely. When everybody comes back to life that has died and we start seeing them in weird vision, nightmare, dreams, cycle repeats itself, I'm sorry. I give up. We're done.
Right.
We're out.
Wave the white flag. Just wave it. Just wave it.
I'm telling you, man. I'm like, God, it's getting out of hand here. And they've definitely let us know that this is like the end of the beginning, I believe the writer said. So the Threshold episode title is perfect. We are in it, guys. We are in almost like we're almost in Endgame here. I mean, I'm assuming we got 2 more seasons, and that Endgame is going to be displayed out in about 2 more seasons. So this is like, this is darkness. We're fully invested now. It's no turn back.
Totally.
The Noob Gamer says, I think Martin is one of the people who are in town from the future who got trapped there at one point. That's how he knew Boyd and Julie. Ooh. Possibly. Again, some good thoughts out there, guys. Mm-hmm. David says the sci-fi is based on theoretical science on multi-dimensions, like vortex math from Telsa. And yes, I have delved into some theories dealing with vortexes, and if we can get all the vortexes to go together, maybe they can go through. But I don't know if they're going to do that, because now I'm starting to get even off of the vortexes now with this episode, because again, they've displayed to us that we will sort of that hope from the children on the slabs being poured into the roots, creating the symbol, creating the tree. So we're getting the forming of this sort of realm. So where did it all start? Where did the children start? And where they were? Was it brought into this world? Was this their nightmare created? This curse, was it created from their nightmares? Something that happened to them? Or were they always sort of here? I don't know.
Well, Scarlett, I think we have a few people that have to step away in a few minutes. So
okay.
I just want to give Miss Kay and Jenny kind of like their final send off. Thank you guys for coming on.
Thank you.
We always forget about the private chat, so I apologize for that.
No worries.
I try to pay attention to that. But any last thoughts or theories? Anything before you guys have to hop off?
No, just gonna wait till next week.
Can't wait.
But I'm right. We'll see. I'm right.
I don't know. I don't normally have theories for this show, I said, but because you guys, I don't know, you just kind of pulling it out of me, I guess.
Yes, we will. We're going to do that. We're going to get you back on here. We're going to figure out some theories.
Yes.
We're going to get you in. We'll definitely have you back on.
You know what I have? It's not a theory, but it just makes me go back to that song. Now that you're saying all of the things, Scarlett, about the dream realm and all that, nightmares, I'm wondering if I always have wondered the origin of this whole thing, right? Mm-hmm. And I keep going back to that fairy tale, not the fairy tale, that kind of nursery rhyme. For 3 or whatever, that one right there. I'm still wondering if that's going to have a part to play in all of this. Because I just feel like that might be a part of the origin. Yeah. But then again, it's still weird because it's like we can't forget about these crazy things that come out at night, right? But then they want to do all this other stuff. So I'm just, it's just a ball of fun confusion. I'll just say that.
It's the perfect way to put it, for sure.
Yeah. But thank you guys so much. It's been wonderful.
Yes, thank you for inviting me as well.
Hold on, before you go. Before you go.
Uh-oh.
Before you go.
Get the fuck out of here.
That was great. Love it.
How dare you? I'm coming to you. I'm coming to you.
It's PM's fault. She told me to drop. She told me to get her a drop.
Oh, PM, yep, she offended, man.
It's always good to see you, JH.
All righty.
And Tom, thank you guys. Oh, Miss K, thank you guys for hanging.
Nice to meet you guys. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Have a good night.
You too.
That soundboard, man, that's quality stuff.
Yes, let me readjust you guys a little bit. Let's see. I'm gonna put myself down
Yep,
here.
I know we have Baby Clay joining us in a little while, and I believe Parkland Media said he might pop by. So
awesome.
It's a round table. But yes, so this was fun. But I guess we'll just hop right into the next question. So kind of knowing what we know now, do you guys have any thoughts or theories about, Jasper, it being the boy in white? Will we see Jasper kind of come alive still? What are your guys' theories on like this new revelation that it wasn't Jasper that was talking, but the boy in white? What about you, JH? What are your thoughts on this?
Jasper is done. We don't want to hear. I don't want to hear anything else about Jasper. Honestly, it was kind of a double-edged sword because I'm trying to figure out how are they going to pull off him actually talking. So I think it was a good way to get out of that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't Jasper. It was the boy in white. We still don't trust the boy in white over here. I don't care what he said.
Right. Okay. Team, no trusting.
Yeah.
No trust. Zero. Especially after this episode.
Nice for you to join us in episode 8.
Right. You leave Tabitha freaking waving in Camden, Maine. We don't see how hair your ass. And then all of a sudden we're gonna see a pass. We don't even get to see him in the now. Like, where the hell is he at? If he's got all this secret information he's divulging in basements and stuff. I don't like it either. I'm with you, JH, man. It ain't right.
It's a whole lot of basement action going on.
lot of basement stuff. But what about you, Ray? What you mad about this whole Jasper situation?
No, I'm happy.
Nico's mad.
What is
That's
Was
my
it a-
dog squeaking her toy.
Okay,
She's
I thought it
trying
was
very
a
hard to get my
cockatoo or
attention.
something.
And she's
But,
mad that I'm not playing with her.
Yeah. But no, as far as Jasper goes, I like the so no, let me take it back because after I watched the episode and I looked back, I kept thinking to myself, what was the point of Jasper? What was the whole point of going after Jasper if you could have just went into the basement? So I get that part. I don't know. He may come back later on. He may come back up. Other than that, I don't see any reason for Jasper.
Oh, Victor.
Yeah.
What?
That's a good enough reason for Jasper. Those voices. And Sarah. Oh my God. Sarah, when she tried the voice and Victor was critiquing her, that's gold right there.
Yeah. What does he sound like?
Not good enough.
Yeah.
You're not doing it right.
It's like Kermit, Mickey Mouse, Goofy. Like, where are we going with that? Maybe he sounds like Walter,
Who knows? But
it's weird.
He needs a Darth Vader voice. That deep
She told him, I'm doing my best, yo.
James Earl Ray voice.
Yeah.
She tried. She didn't understand. Look, he didn't give her many, he didn't give her a good prompt. He was just like, hey, you got to hold this doll and make him talk. That's all he gave her. Poor Sarah.
Yeah, she had nothing to work with at all.
So what about the part? So we're talking about Jasper. What about the part where Victor said that Tabitha was there when I can't remember his name, the guy with the dummy.
Christopher?
Well, yeah, when Christopher, he said that Tabitha was there when Christopher was talking to Jasper.
Well, he said what?
He said that Tabitha was there when that's the whole reason he wanted Tabitha to come there. He said, you were here when Jasper was revealing secrets, basically.
Well, I thought he was saying about Eloise. Like Tabitha was there with Eloise, so he said Jasper will talk to her.
Unless they're the same person, I don't know.
It was as if he was. I took the scene as if he was saying, like, because you helped me remember before, you helped kind of remember the Eloise, saying that maybe she would be able to help him remember what happened here. But I might be mistaken. I can't remember. I'm trying to remember exactly what was said in the scene.
When I went back and watched it, he was like, "You sit here, because you were here when Jasper was giving the secrets, basically." And he was talking to Tabitha.
Yeah, I'd have to watch that scene again to remember exactly what he said.
Yeah.
But I thought it was something more along the lines of like something we saw happen in previous seasons. I didn't think it was like revealing anything.
I'm
but I have to
totally
watch it
open
again.
to me
I have the
being
scene
wrong.
pulled up here. I could find out.
I thought he was talking about Eloise, like you helped me remember Eloise, so therefore,
Yeah.
this is going. You should be able to get Jasper to talk because you kind of
We've
been down this track before. I mean, that was just my memory of the scene.
Maybe I have to go back and watch it again, but that's what I thought was going on.
Who knows? But what about you, Brian? What's your take on this Jasper doll?
The Jasper situation.
Yeah.
I think it was a red herring, or at least that's what they want us to think at this point in the story, that it was just a misdirection, not necessarily like the answer to everything. And all season people have been saying it's just a doll, it's just a doll. So I think that it's not the answer we were looking for. But we have seen Jasper before. It's been set up. We've had the visions. I think he was screaming. Whose vision was that? Was that Jade who saw Jasper before? We saw him in even in the caves before. So I'm not going to say he'll never come back, but I tend to agree with JH, right? That it's done. I think it's done, at least for now. Maybe it'll come back later, but
that doll needs to talk. You risked your life to go in the cave.
Yeah,
for your memory to be wrong.
Yeah, but they also got the article of clothing from Victor's mother, right? That was the other thing they found down there. So, yeah, I tend to think Jasper is the. I think you're onto something when you're saying like it would be silly to kind of hear the voice, right? In a horror show, like to do that right, it would be difficult, I think, to make that something scary and not something a little goofy if you actually have them start talking, So maybe that's why, it wasn't actually him in the long run.
So now that we've kind of discovered that.
Yeah, I agree with EJ. What's up, EJ, by the way?
Well, as we'll say, are we moving to the next question or is it a follow-up?
Well, he just brought up a good point. Like, now that we know that the boy in white was Jasper talking to Christopher, was the boy in white every time we saw Jasper?
I think it was just him like rewriting his memories to suppress what was painful to him, which was the painful part was his mother leaving him. I think more than the dark story about the children. Like, obviously that's traumatizing, but the real trauma to Victor is that he then told his mother, who then left,
and that's why she left.
Yeah, I think that's the real trauma. So yeah, that's
because he feels that guilt, right? It's
he feels
fault
guilty about it.
that his mom is gone, his sister's gone.
Exactly.
It's almost as if he couldn't even fully remember his dad, right? It was from the before times kind of thing.
Yep.
So that he's definitely, that trauma is held deep with him. That's why, what did he say? Like, he never wanted to talk about his mom. Like, those memories were so hard.
And that's why he's never like fully matured. Like, he still has the mind of a child because he's constantly repressing everything. I think that's just his character trait for sure.
Oh yeah.
You also can't trust Victor.
Yeah, and it's something, right? Because I still think Jasper's coming back. I do.
Do you?
I do, only because of the fact that Jade saw him. So I have to think there's a little bit more to it than, okay, it was just this memory. Like, I have to think there was more to him going in the caves, like y'all were saying, venturing forth in and getting all this, and the shirt was meaningful because usually in From they give you these layers, right? Like, it's not just one direct thing. It's a couple things that are kind of together with it. So I'm hoping that we're still going to get Jade interacting with this, because I mean, Jade left. He stormed out of the bar in this episode. We don't know who I don't think they showed who he ran into next. I don't remember. I think that was like it with Jade for the episode.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
Tabitha's down there. Is she going to come back up from being with Victor? And Victor, are they going to, in essence, or is somewhere in the town, these two people are walking and Jasper's there in hand? What, I'm just trying to figure out, are we going to get a Jade and Jasper interaction again? I'm kind of hopeful for it, because again, what was the whole point of the vision that he saw of Jasper with the symbol behind it? And then for us to say, okay, well, now Jasper's not even walking around or talking.
The symbol was behind Jasper in that vision. I didn't remember that.
Well, it was on like the behind on the wall on the other side of him. So like he was sitting in the chair, and then like I thought the symbol came up, and then Jasper was there.
That would make sense though, because Jasper in this scene was there when the origin story was told about where that came from. So it actually is a connecting thread. That would make sense, and that would hint, if that's the case. I don't remember that scene specifically, but if that's the case, I think that would point to this is the endpoint for Jasper.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to know who else was in that scene with Jasper and Jade as he was rolling his joint right before he saw the symbol and Jasper? Clara.
Yeah, tell me.
I know Clara. I know
Clara.
I know. Always Clara. She's a sus.
Yeah.
One. Everybody. They've moved on from Tilly. May she rest in peace.
Yep. I'm telling you. As soon as she got up saying, "Do you think we got somebody angry?" There goes the symbol appearing, and Jasper yelling at Jade, and that's just my tinfoil hat theory.
Oh yeah, like I said, I'm hoping he come back, because I mean, come on, man, you can't be playing with Jasper like that in visions, and then he's just a doll. Like, and then I almost forgot. Other thing about the doll that I'm curious about is, because let's just say the doll is nothing in the essence of being supernatural. It just was for this kind of memory, reveal. But what else I'm curious about? This was Christopher's doll, seemingly. The show seemingly has established that. We know from this season that the monsters, from Victor, what Victor tells us, is believe it with a grain of salt, that the monsters seemingly like to take things from people who've passed away. So if this is the case, does that mean that Christopher is dead? So would that kind of say, okay, Christopher's gone, he's no longer alive?
It could also tie in with what Jenny was saying about how like pure things are what the evil wants to take over. So I remember Victor talking about how the doll was like a reprieve and would like have people laughing in such a hard time. So obviously evil would want to go after this thing to take it over and make it sinister. I think that could all tie in for sure.
We've definitely seen the objects, and they collect these objects. They put them down there. They had them displayed, a nice little tea party set up, very Alice in Wonderland meets Pan's Labyrinth kind of thing. It was set up so beautifully, but I don't know. I'm hoping they come back to it though. I hope we don't.
When Victor went down there, the creature made it sound like, next time you come in, we're not letting you leave. It was almost like, just like how all season they've shown that they're more intelligent than they were letting on. Like, we let you come down here. It was our plan. Like, we're presenting this to you, and it was exactly what they wanted to have happen. So
let's see what you guys in the chat real quick are saying. Daryl says Jade saw Jasper scream, so I think Jasper still might come to life. I'm of a like mind. I definitely hope so. Let's see. David says we definitely will. David says Jasper's importance was to show how broken and repressed Victor is, because he is traumatized by causing his mother to leave him. Absolutely. Exactly. Let's see what else we got. Amy Cinnamon Sweets. Hi guys, baking my daughter's birthday cake for tomorrow. We'll be in and out. Well, happy birthday to your daughter. I hope she has a happy birthday tomorrow.
Absolutely.
And I know it's going to be a good cake because Mom's making it, so Moms always make the best cakes.
Yes, and Scarlett Delsenia actually sent us.
I do. I have the picture actually. Yeah. I was gonna bring that up in just a second as I go through the chats here. I got started a few of you guys.
Our super mod.
Yes, Miss Delsenia is awesome.
Coming through.
got a picture of the scene that we were talking about a second ago, and with some subtitles to it. So I'm definitely going to get ready to bring that up. Let me just get to you guys real quick. Arrow says, "I am truly exacerbated, Jasper-baited." You know, I can't read.
Love it.
And I know what you're trying to say too, so it makes it even harder.
Exasperated. There you go.
Exasperated.
Love it.
Yeah, right.
All
that
City.
one down.
Clara is Jasper.
Yes, all
Put
City.
that one in the
Claire
dictionary.
is Jasper. The sus of the sus. Oh, Amy, she's turning 16. Well, happy. That's right. She's her. You told us that. You did. I remember now. It's all coming back, Dana.
Yep.
Happy sweet 16.
It's a big one. It's a big one.
Funfetti, icing, and sprinkles. Aw.
Yum.
Yeah, I want some.
Mm-hmm. Alabaster Dragon says, "I bet Jim's still contemplating on taking that shot while Henry's passed out." Yes, he definitely.
Henry got loaded in this episode.
they was having a few. And Alabaster, I wanted to get to this other one because I know you put it up here a few times. And yes, Mayfair witches have big time similarities to From. And yes, that is another show we were going to get into, the Mayfair Witches series.
I haven't watched that one.
It's pretty trippy. They do a weird time jump. So the main witch chick, and I haven't watched it in a minute, so I'm not going to remember her name, of course, which is horrible. But she, she's like the one that's coming into all the powers of the matriarch kind of thing. All the family powers is coming to her, and she's the chosen one. And she is chosen, essentially, she thinks she's just chosen to be this powerful witch, but lo and behold, her power source from a sort of demon type dude that kind of they made a pact way back when. Well, he ends up impregnating this poor woman here, and she goes into a seemingly she kind of passes out and seemingly goes into like a dream state within her mind. And during this, she's going through each generation of her family. So all the witches before her and her bloodline that were chosen, she's going through, and there's a clock, and that clock is constantly kind of ticking down hours until she makes it out of that, where she realizes that she has been impregnated and the baby is ready to come out. So we have a pregnancy in a matter of hours, from no pregnancy to full birth. And yes, while seemingly, and again, I have to rewatch the first season. It's been a minute, but the way I remember it was as if she was in like a nightmare or dream state, this sort of, conscious place within her mind. And what was his name? Lasher was the guy's name. He's sort of tricking her into staying here so that this baby can be, or himself, actually, it's himself. He is being birthed through her, the demon Lasher, in a nightmare dream. So yeah, it's a good show.
It's like Fatima.
I was just about to ask, could that be? I've heard people from like season 2 saying that that's Elgin basically is Fatima's child. Could it be something like that?
I mean, it could be. It's not my particular, the way I see it. I think he's just being manipulated in order to do this. Now, again, this place is so weird. I don't know. I don't know. Dana has a theory on what Elgin's tie to the kimono lady is, and it's not too far off of what the kimono lady is in essence, or what I think she is as a Japanese spirit and the kind of Japanese spirit she is. But, and even more so, I think if the baby is hers, I think Elgin is sort of a means to an end. And that baby, for whatever reason, I think is tied to the kimono lady, because that kind of drives into the lore of the particular Japanese spirit she could be. And I never say it right. It's like a umabe or something. It's damn it, I have to look it up again. But it has to do with the one where it's a mother who has died during childbirth, and whether her child is not going on with her or not, she's sort of continually seeking out that child to have it come back to her. And then they also did that scene with Elgin, which was weird because they show him in front of the mirror. And I know we talked about the mirror before with Fatima, and we talked about the mirror with Jasmine. Now, what else does that mirror scene? I don't want to find it. Dang it, I'm not going to be able to find it as fast as I wanted to.
And welcome, Baby
I found
Clay.
it.
You sneak in there.
Yes, welcome, Baby Clay. But this scene here,
Thank you,
yes, welcome. It just
Snuck
reminds
in like
me,
a ninja.
Well, that's what he does. Look, he's a ninja. How ninjas do. But this scene reminded me, and when I'm talking about the kimono lady, and you think about the Japanese type spirits, some that come to mind even in pop culture would be like The Grudge, or even more so The Ring. And we get into The Ring and how they have that similar sort of mirror where the girl's standing in front of the mirror, she's brushing her hair, or the mom. I'm sorry, it was the mom in The Ring. It just gave me those vibes. And then we're getting that kimono spirit, sort of Japanese spirit inlaid with it. And it's, again, is throwing these tropes at us, almost as if it was more of an Easter egg than an actually telling of what anything about From. But I love how they did that, because as soon as I seen him do that, like, okay, he's with this kimono lady. This is so Ring vibes. I got complete Ring vibes. I'm still waiting to see where the well is. And I hope the original baby ain't in the well. That's just sad.
Well, since we are on the subject of Fatima, do you guys have any, thoughts on who might be the baby mommy and daddy? I don't know about you guys. What about you, Baby Clay? Who do you think put this baby in Fatima's belly?
I honestly, I mean, it could be a demon baby or it could be a real baby, but I honestly, I don't know. Like, I don't know if she's changing or if Elgin is trying to protect the baby because, maybe he knows the townspeople are trying to hurt the baby. I don't know.
It's a hard one. It's tough. What about you, JH? Who you think the parents? Where's Maury? We need Maury to come out with his DNA test and his envelope.
The baby daddy is Cowboy Monster. Ever since that night.
Yeah, ever since that night, he's been right.
My money was on the sailor, but that works too.
You think she's actually impregnated by like the monsters? Do you think she's like a baby monster?
I'm thinking like immaculate conception, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. Yeah, I agree.
Yep, Joe knows in the chat agrees with you guys. It was an immaculate conception.
But what, you have any other thoughts? Like who could have put this baby in her belly?
Well, I don't think it's the kimono wearing lady's baby because she doesn't look pregnant, right? And I'm not sure who else it could be. It seems like it's another like dimension or something. I mean, she wasn't there physically when it happened, or she would know, right? Unless she was just unconscious or something. So I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't think it's something we've seen yet. If it's not an immaculate conception type of thing, I think it's something new.
What about you, Ray? You guys thoughts on who the baby daddy?
So can you repeat the question in the full? What it is you're asking?
Sure. Who do you think got, like, who are the parents necessarily? Like, who got Fatima pregnant?
Okay. So I believe y'all might want to put your kids to sleep for this one. I'm joking, but no, I believe I don't know. I know that Fatima and Ellis was doing their thing, so I don't see how Ellis wouldn't be the father.
But remember, she was hooking up with a bunch of people. Remember season 1?
Women.
Yeah. Oh, true. Yeah, we don't know about other men, right?
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
So I don't know. I think some kind of way Ellis is still the father, but just like Elgin said, Fatima is not the mother for whatever reason. There's some weird stuff going on. I haven't been able to piece together a theory that makes sense in my mind for that.
What about this room where it's happening is where Jade saw somebody get crushed, right? That's the same room?
So one thing I did notice is that when Ellis was dragging when Elgin was dragging Fatima to the cellar, the same cellar you're talking about.
Yeah.
He said Ellis is in here waiting for you. And
Yeah, he did say that.
Straight up lied.
well,
Right?
there's
Yeah, it
there's
seemed
a
like a lie, right?
there's a dead body in there, right? So what if that was some kind of slick way that the writers or the, you know, they're trying to hint to us that we don't know who that is. Everybody's theorizing on who that could be. Maybe it's Ellis in some kind of weird time warp stuff, since we know that time stuff is going on now.
Yeah. Anything's possible at this point after this
Yeah.
episode. Yeah.
Pretty much. What about you, Scarlett? You know, my theory is that Fatima pulled the baby from her dreams. But what are you thinking about? Who are the parents? Who's Maury coming out and saying you're the parents?
Well, to be fair, I honestly don't know. I mean, because honestly, your theory is about the only one that I can go on board with right now from the way my brain thinks, because I can't think of when they hit her, right? Other than immaculate conception. But I'm like, man, they can just go with that. That just seems cheap for me. I was like, man, come on, you gotta have.
Yeah,
but like I said, I mean, I don't know. I really don't have an answer for this one, because this was my question to ask everybody, because I'm so curious of how they tapped Fatima. Other than, I mean, I get that she's pure of heart. Like, I get why to tap her or why they want her, but how, like, most of the stuff we kind of see something that initiated. Now, we go back to the cicadas and say, okay, well, you know, Ellis got the blood from Boyd, but we confirm, or it was almost as if the pregnancy was confirmed before blood transfusion happened, and then anything would have happened between Fatima and Ellis. So again, it's seemingly tied to the cicadas, because kimono is seemingly tied to the music box was seemingly tied to the cicadas, the way they're tying these things together. But I can't figure out other than that, but it still doesn't quite fit. I'm like, well, how did that happen? But when Dana said dreams, that kind of makes sense, because again, that's sort of what happened in Mayfair Witches. Sort of went in the state and it kind of came to her. But again, why? Like, it's just so weird, because out of all the women in From, right? Out of all the women, is it just because of her light? Is that what it was? I mean, I'm trying to think of all the women that are in there. We see a lot of women we don't even get to really see as characters, right? Because they're side characters or whatever. So is it just that? Is it just her brightness that is what is causing this? It seems like there has to be something more to it than that. Like, there's something about Fatima. It could be bloodlines. It could be something, you know, her family. I don't know, but it's just, I'm hoping that there's going to be something more, but I have no idea whose father is. None, zero. Kimono lady is the mom, I guess. I don't know. She seems to have a vested interest in this baby.
What about the chat? Who does the chat think?
So it's a surrogate pregnancy.
Maybe it's possible, and I think even someone in the chat was saying something similar to that as well. Because that's what I'm thinking. It's going to be something like that.
Well, I agree with you, because
let's see what else.
My question was always, why Fatima?
Yeah, because it just was weird. It just didn't quite fit.
If this can happen to her, why isn't it happening to anybody else? That was always my question. When
I think it was like psychological warfare. They chose Fatima because they knew that she couldn't have babies.
Yeah, definitely.
So boom, I'm gonna fuck with her head, and we gonna put a fake or a real demon baby inside of her to make her go crazy, and boom, there you have it, crazy pregnant potential.
Then my original theory was that it was a triangle with Fatima. She needed Winter. All right, this thing needed Winter, a seemingly barren womb, because she said, like, I can't have children. I wasn't supposed to be able to have children, seemingly like a barren womb that was infertile, in any kind of stretch of the way you want to put that. And then her eating the dead food seemed to be like three sides to a pyramid in order for this child to be born. But I don't know past that. Like, I'm still on the question. I still got it's still a big question mark for me. And I'm not so sure the Winter is part of that anymore, because Winter it's still Winter, but it's not like the blizzard I thought it needed to be for this child, seemingly of death, like dead womb, dead food, the season of death being Winter, all correlating for this child to be born. And then now they're putting on the fact that these children were born into darkness, killed by the people who love them, and this was also done in darkness. So I'm thinking that's going to be paralleled here. But again, I thought we were supposed to be saving things. So is this going to be the next sacrifice? Is Fatima's baby going to be the next sacrifice, so to speak, for the trees to do their next cycle? But we haven't seen much about that with what Victor knows. Like, who was pregnant during the last cycle? Is this just a version of this cycle pregnancy, or does the pregnancy happen every sort of generation if they are doing these generational cycles? Did the pregnancy not work last time? Is that why Miranda didn't make it? Was she seemingly pregnant, trying to get the child out of From in order to save the children? Maybe that's why Fatima needs to be locked up. I don't know, just those kind of things eventually start going through your brain, like what? And that's where my train goes anyways, of curiosity.
Well, now that the next 2 episodes are called Revelations, now I'm almost thinking like maybe it's an Antichrist sort of thing. Like, this is the harbinger of the apocalypse, essentially. And the cicadas are an apocalyptic from Revelations type of thing, like a plague that's going to take over the world that they're in. And the winter, I think, is a part of that, a part of the death of things, like the end of one cycle. So I think we're onto something.
It's kind of like in the Bible, when Moses was like, "Let my people go," trying to get his people out of From, and they got these plagues coming.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like I'm just spitballing, throwing out a parallel.
No, go ahead. I'll spitball too, man. That's all I do.
A ton of like biblical imagery in the show. There's a reason why there's a priest as a main character in the first few seasons. It's definitely not a coincidence for sure.
Absolutely. And Amy Cinnamon Sweet says her baby needs the opposite of normal baby. Yes, her baby is definitely the opposite of anything normal we've seen in a pregnancy, at least anything I've seen. Perth Comics says it all started with the children, and then maybe everyone drawn to Fromville are descendants / relatives. And yes, that has definitely been a popular theory, the bloodlines theories. And it could still be. I mean, again, even with what they have given us in this season, as far as like major theories go with stuff like that, they have not really debunked any of them. I mean, this still could be alien simulation, the distant relative, all of the above is still, to me, very much so a relevant part of the show, or very much so on the table of discussion. Chris Small says, it's Martin's baby. Remember, my blood is your blood. Martin gave blood to Boyd, Boyd to Elgin, Elgin to Fatima. And again, it could be so much that she was pregnant and then that happened and then it took over the baby, or even ate the baby and took its place. Oh God, darkness. Could it have eaten the baby? Oh, poor babies. See, Papa Sock says, I think the baby is the baby of the kimono woman who has attached her spirit to Fatima. Of course, could be someone else's baby, and kimono is attached to Elgin. Okay, it's definitely a possibility. Perth Comics also writes, Immaculate Conception, the phantom baby is a vessel for someone breaking through from elsewhere. And who is it? Or what is it? Is it the man in yellow? Is it the boy in white? Is it the evil entity monster in the cave drawings? So many questions. Hopefully they answer a few. Yes, Glue Guns and Roses, I'm sorry, says, I still don't think it will be a baby. Ooh.
There's got to be some type of twist to it.
I swear, if it's a friggin' chest burster, I'm done.
Alien baby pops out.
Got him right there. The chest burster.
That's it.
David says, the entity is the father.
Yes. I'm down with that thought.
He is the father.
That's where my brain goes. My brain goes, the entity somehow entered her dream, impregnated her within her dream, and we've seen people pull things out of their dream. So why couldn't she pull a pregnancy out of her dream?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. Manifestation, I think, is a big part of the show, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ty Briggs says, it's hard to deny the dark fae theories. Yes, how could I forget the fae theory, that is definitely
It could also be
very
like
much so on the table. All the fae theories, dark fae theories, light fae, all of that fae stuff is very much so still on the table, because we'll see if they don't take the child as if they did with the changelings. But this one's be a little bit different because they know it's not her baby. But I could still see the possibility of some changeling type creepiness going on here.
we
Yes, what
never
were you gonna
found
say,
out
Brian?
where the creatures come from. Maybe that's what we're about to find out here. The creatures of the night. What'd you say?
I said revelations.
Yeah.
See,
So are we about to see another
Jasper is the
Smiley?
father. Somebody said.
Is she pregnant with like the reincarnation of Smiley? Is that what we're saying?
Ooh.
I mean, it's possible.
That would make sense.
I know
I
some of you
heard
guys
that
in the
theory.
chat. Actually, somebody in the chat did
Top of
say
that.
that, and I thought I started it, but I guess I did not.
Oh
That's
my
a
what do you
great,
guys
Smiley
great
is
point.
gonna come popping out.
Smiley, deaf via Martin.
It's a possibility.
Could be.
Let's see. I'll scroll back down to you guys. See what you guys are saying. Let's see. David says, "What if the children manifested all of the characters from their minds as a way to find an escape?" So that could be. I mean, again, we still don't fully know how people end up here. We kind of got a little taste this season of sort of why people come here, how they're kind of brought here, but not really truly the why, just a little homage bouche to what could be. So it's still a lot of possibilities, a lot of possibilities.
What we have are patterns, right? We don't have any
Yes.
answers. We have like the pattern of every person comes to Fromville at a time when they're at a change point, like a big point in their life where things are about to change drastically. And there's that question of free will and determinism where they're at that point where they're about to make a decision, and then they end up on the road. They see the tree and everything. So yeah, we don't have any answers. We have just those patterns we can recognize. That's pretty much it.
Mm-hmm. Amy Cinema Sweets could be she was pregnant, and then the cicada's DNA mixed with Ellis's, just Elgin's juice. I don't know. Are you saying Elgin's or Ellis's? I'm not sure, but I'm gonna say Elgin's. This is what you put. Elgin's juice when they were intimate and contaminated the baby somehow. Ooh, it could be. I mean, yeah, Ellis and Fatima. That's still a possibility. I mean, it's got. I don't know. Like I don't really have an answer. They leave these questions. I'm like, possibility. And yes, all city bigs. I wouldn't say I speak French, but there's a few words you pick up along the way, and it's about food. So of course I'm going to know an homage bouche because it's food. Everybody likes a little taste of something before the entree gets there.
No, but I do have another interesting question for you guys.
Yes,
Since we
please.
were talking about Fatima, we kind of talked about some other things. So with Tilly's death, since we saw Tilly get some shears to the heart, did it change your thoughts or like theories on whether she's a mole or something to that extent, or whether she has been here prior to From? Have your thoughts on Tilly changed since she is now no longer with us, allegedly? And I use that in quotation marks. What about you, Brian? Did Tilly's death change anything for you?
Yeah, definitely this season. Prior to this season, I thought for sure that she was something sinister. And I always point back to she gave like the drugs to Marielle, the person who used to be an addict. Like specifically, it's almost like she had some sinister intentions there. Like she wanted her to go back down this road. And I always had that feeling about her. But this season, they gave her a reason why she's so aloof all the time. It's because, she had the diagnosis and she came to this understanding about her life and all of that stuff. So I do tend to think that it was another red herring, just like with the Jasper situation. Maybe we will find out more. Everybody's pointing to the fanny pack. I didn't even notice it when I watched it the first time, but her fanny pack is gone. Was there something there that's important? I tend to think like she's gone for real, though. I tend to think like maybe she wasn't actually a mole and that was just one of those things that they wanted us to talk about, but maybe it wasn't actually a real thing. I don't know. Or maybe she comes back as some sort of ghost or something, you know. Anything could happen. But I think she actually maybe was at face value just, you know, just a decent person. But I don't know. What do you guys think?
Could be. What about you, JH? You think Tilly is still sus and even in death?
I think Tilly is just dead. Tilly is dead. I don't believe in the mole. By the way, I don't believe in the mole.
Neither does Scarlet.
It's a troll by the writers.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're messing with us. Like the town is messing with the people.
Yeah. Right. Like JH, give me if I'm wrong. The only people I trust are the living, breathing humans that we see enter into the town. Everything else in this world, I don't trust. Everything else is sus. Martin, of course, cicadas, but Martin, Abby, dead Country, dead Tom, the boy and white children. What else have we seen? All the visions. That shit is sus as fuck. I don't trust it. Don't trust it. What about you, JH? Would you trust the people? But how about all the other creepy things that we see in this show?
Christopher said everything lies, so.
Oh, you peeped that, huh? Yeah. You did say that.
Everything lies, including the boy in white.
Yes.
I still don't trust Martin.
Right?
Oh, hell no.
Yeah.
No.
Definitely not.
Like, how's he going to tell her just leave? Just leave, Julie. Thank you for throwing the rope down for me because he needed it. But now could you just, I need you to leave exit stage right real quick before he comes up this rope.
I don't
need
trust
to give him
nobody.
these worms.
Everybody's
know, right?
suspect except for Jay, except for Boyd.
Well, here's a thought for you guys. So since we know the worms were in Martin and that the worms turned into the cicadas per se, what if Martin was able to do what Julie did? And that's how he knows Julie because he saw that moment. That's how he knew Abby because he saw that moment. What if he was able to do what Julie did because he also kind of was tapped in the same way she was, just not by the cicadas per se, but the worms?
Yeah, it could be. He definitely he knows Julie from somewhere. I have a feeling like Julie's gonna want to go back because she was pulled out before, you know, she got to the end of that particular journey. So I think we might end up going further back, and we might see her meet Martin for the first time. I think there's more to it than that for sure.
Yeah, she was definitely on the, I don't know what you want to call it, like on the brink or on the precipice of getting somewhere right before she got pulled back. And From does that. It does that constantly. People will be talking about something, people will be having conversations, they'll be getting to a point where we get some real information and then they'll get interrupted. So
Yeah.
I'm seeing the same thing with that.
Like Tabitha with the going to the park, and then she gets sucked back into the Fromville again.
Yeah, it could be basic conversations that they'll have. You know, everybody wants everybody to have like a town meeting, which they did have, but everybody wants people to share information. But when they start sharing information, they get interrupted.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think there is a lot of intention in the town itself. Like, even, you know, going back to like, why are people pulled here? It's almost like every person fulfills a certain role, you know, and as soon as we're in this season, the whole storyline with Boyd is like, we're going to break him down, and his sense of authority is disappearing because people don't trust him in the same way, because they don't feel safe, because he's lashing out all the time and he's arguing a lot. So at the same time that happens, who is brought into the fold? Acosta, another police officer, a symbol of order, coming into the town to provide an alternative when his authority is to be questioned, and she has lots of reasons that she doesn't like Boyd and is suspicious of him. And we even see Kenny, who used to be Boyd's number 2 guy, and now he's with Acosta and they're working together. I think that we might see a situation in the following episodes where Boyd completely snaps and he is like kind of left out of the decision making going forward, and we might see people replace him in the leadership role. So I don't know. That's just my theory about where the season's going. That's been the main through line throughout season 3 for sure.
That's interesting. And what about you, Baby Clay? What is your take on this Tilly? Is she still the mole even though she's dead? Was she never the mole? You think she'd been here before? What's your take on Tilly now that she's no longer with us?
I was the number one Tilly detective. I'm telling you.
I know.
I thought she was all sus, but I don't think it completely rules her out. I think eventually she'll come back as a vision to someone, maybe from the colony house, maybe even a boy. But I don't think this is the end of Tilly yet. She died too fast. Even in her death, suspecting her to do some sinister shit at this point still. But I think she'll come back like a Tom Vision, an Abby Vision. She might even come back, to talk to Ellis in a vision. But I don't think, her death will be the last time we'll actually see her though.
I don't think so either. And I think it's all going to depend on where is her fanny pack. People, where is it? Where'd it go? We investigated. It is not around her waist when she is killed. Right.
Yeah.
It is gone.
She had it before. She goes into the tray and Fatima's all freaking out. And Ellis goes in there and then Tilly's right back. We're pretty sure she still had the Fatima at that point. Somewhere between that moment and when she meets her back downstairs, she loses the fanny pack.
Well, you know what it really is she could have easily blocked the shears with the power of the fanny pack, and that's why she couldn't have it.
Possibly.
Who has it?
Did you notice that, JH, that she did not have her fanny pack when she died?
Kevlar fanny pack.
Yeah, she did not have it.
Yeah, same. I didn't notice either. It's definitely not an accident. They're too good on attention to detail.
Right.
She is never without that thing.
It could just be one of those things they're throwing at us to throw us off and get us talking about it, and then it ends up being nothing. It could
because I want to know where the fanny pack is. Who has it?
They need to CSI that shit.
Yes.
Call Grissom from Vegas. Let him come with his little kit. They need to fucking investigate the shit out of that fucking fanny pack.
Because I want to know what else is in there. Man, she carried that thing around like it was very important to her. I want to know what else she's packing in her fanny pack there. I mean, she had all kinds of things. She had some medicines in there. Some possible tarot cards might have come out of there. I know she had tarot cards in the little bookcase, but maybe she put them out of her pouch and put them there for safety. But again, who's going to get her? Yes. Who gets her items? Who gets the tarot cards? And is Elgin going to play with them? More questions.
No, Clara took the fanny pack. I'm more than convinced that Clara went through storage, found the fanny pack, stole it.
I've corrupted you, haven't I? I have so corrupted you. I love it.
Let's see what you guys in the chat are saying about it, because y'all got quite a few things to say on the Tilly situation. Perth Comic says, I now trust Tilly after her death. Delcina says, nope, Tilly is gone. Rest in peace, but she knew some things, so sus to me. And yes, I know Delcinia we've talked to her about it before, the difference between just being sus and the mole. Someone being just a little sus, having a little suspicion to them, because maybe they're not being fully honest in their situation, but are they the mole? Are they actually working with the other side? That sort of difference in there. And so yeah, I could see some of these characters being maybe sus, but mole, I couldn't go as far as to say mole. Yeah, they're sus because they're not giving up information, or they're being a little,
It goes back to like her dancing, in the rain and whatever. Like
it's sus, but it doesn't but what does it mean? What does it mean? She's working with the other side. Well, so Fatima's sus then, because Fatima she was the beacon of light through the entirety of the show.
And you want to know something that Delcinia also brought up? She found a video, but she couldn't find it. Somebody put Tilly dancing in the rain side by side with the ballerina, and it's almost beats the same dance when Boyd sees the ballerina in the church and she's doing the full dance. If you put it next to Tilly dancing in the rain, it is almost the same exact dance.
Yeah.
Which one of
makes
the
sense.
ballerina was it? When she was in the church?
When she
or-
was in the church and did her full
Okay.
like dance.
Okay, yeah, okay. I'll have to
Yes.
check that out then, because
Yeah, but she couldn't find the video. It was posted in the Big From Discord.
Well,
but
it's just I can get it. I can try to work a side by side of it.
But if you look at it, and I've gone back and forth, and Tilly is literally doing the same dance.
Yeah,
check that out.
That makes sense to me. I think when they conceive the whole season, they're like dancing. We have dancing here. We have dancing here. We got to line them up. Even if it doesn't actually mean anything story-wise, it's just like motifs that keep coming back. Yeah.
Let's see what else we got in the chat. Chris Small says, I definitely thought Tilly was a mole. Her death has changed all of that. Okay.
Same, Chris. Same.
Thickly says, Tilly definitely had a connection to the town prior to coming there, but everyone there did, so that doesn't make her evil. Yeah, that's true.
It's a common theme at this point.
Mm-hmm. Especially after this season, they've made it almost whatever we suspected on that or speculated. They've almost confirmed that yes, the dreams, people are seeing things, and the nightmares at least of this place. So, oh man, definitely getting somewhere with it, little by little.
Yep.
Oh, City Big says, never believed in moles here. I definitely agree with that sentiment. David says, I never thought there was a mole because it's not an experiment. Okay.
Yeah.
Blue says, could Martin be Henry in another cycle?
That's a question I had. I tend to think Martin's gonna end up being like an older version of a character we already know.
It's possible.
I feel like there's a twist in there somewhere, but then he would have to have a reason to pretend not to know Boyd. Like, what is that reason? Like, he knew Julie, but he didn't know Boyd, or at least he pretended he didn't know. So there's something there for sure.
It's something weird. It's definitely curiouser and curiouser as we go down the rabbit hole, as Alice did. Where we will end up, I do not know. We got Colony House. They smoking it up like the Caterpillar did. So I mean, who knows? We had a tea party.
Can you blame them? I can't.
Are we going to get the Lake of Tears? Who is Alice, and is she going to cry the tears that will be the Lake of Tears? I do not know, but I like to see where we're going to take it. 4070 says, I want to see Donna with the fanny pack. Yes,
it does
Donna
fit,
got
doesn't it? Why does that sound so right?
She got it. Well, yeah, Donna's
You should
one
have a
that,
fanny
that
pack.
they sus.
Why
that
doesn't
people
she?
claim sus, and I see where they're coming from with Donna. I just feel bad for Donna. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm biased. I like Donna.
Donna. I respect Donna.
Donna's my girl.
Donna has a
Team
pocket
Donna.
She's like one of the crucial people holding everything together at this point. And even she's starting to break down this season, but she's holding it together a little better than Boyd is.
You want to know what I realized about Donna? I'm sorry.
What? No, go ahead.
But I realized that Donna is the only one that hasn't had a vision out of or an entity trying to contact her out of the main characters so far.
Not that we've seen anyway. Yeah. Great point.
Now that we've seen, like, her sister hasn't came back,
yeah.
And technically she was there before Boyd, so Father Khatri hasn't even visited her. So it's like, damn, I want to like Donna so bad, but she just seems so fake.
Guys, it's breaking my heart.
Yeah, Donna ain't got no real friends.
Oh, dang! Oh,
you gotta watch Donna, man.
You hurting the Donna fan club over here. And look, I feel for her. Look, she was wrong in a lot of stuff she did this season. I'm not even gonna lie. Her mouth. I wanted to slap her this episode a little bit because I get it. Fatima don't need to be around nobody. People need to know, but you gotta handle that shit delicately before you incite a mob in this town and freak everybody. What she the one trying to tell Boyd not to freak everybody out? No, she told Jim. We're trying not to cause panic, kind of like what you're doing right now. So
that's a good point.
And that's a good point, Scarlett, which brings us to our next question. Do you guys agree or disagree with Donna telling Boyd she is going to reveal Fatima as being the one who killed Tilly and that people no longer believe in him? Do you guys think that was what are your feelings on that? We'll start with you, Baby Clay. What you think about it?
The question was how you feel about Donna.
Do you agree or disagree that Donna's ready to spill the beans and telling Boyd that, nobody believe in you no more?
I'm gonna have to disagree. just like how y'all was just saying about she was trying to tell Jim not to tell the townspeople about what they heard on the radio. Boyd is trying to do the same exact thing and protect his, daughter-in-law. And she's just like, let the world know who killed Tilly. So I'm gonna be honest. I disagree with her on that. But yeah, she wasn't wrong about the people not believing in Boyd anymore. Like we saw that with Dale. Dale wanted to go home so bad he stopped listening to Boyd, and basically even turned his son against Boyd. So at one point we saw how a son lost faith in his own father. You know what I'm saying? So I honestly believe that the townspeople don't believe in Boyd anymore, but I do think she was wrong by going to tell the townspeople about something.
True. What about you, JH? You agree with Donna? You disagree with Donna? And do you think like the people really kind of have lost faith in Boyd?
It doesn't matter. This is a Boyd tatership. Nobody cares. You better not tell. Snitches get stitches. Boyd looked at her kind of funny when she said that.
He was thinking about it. He's like, "Oh, I gotta kill you now."
Yeah, he's about to shoot her in the face.
Well, I think he's kind of like they're reaching their kind of bucking point. It seems like they've really been bucking heads this season on what to do, how to handle things, and everything like that. So, do you think it would be wise for Donna just to tell everybody that Fatima's the killer, Jade? Do you think it's like what do you think it's going to do?
It's not going to make it any better. I can tell you that.
But if you were in Donna's shoes, would you tell everybody?
Shut up.
So just keep your mouth shut.
Shut up.
Don't say nothing.
Don't say nothing.
I see that. What about you, Ray? You think you disagree or you agree that Donna should kind of spill the beans?
I think she should spill the beans just morally, but I think if she keep testing Boyd, she gonna be the second murder. Because like he brought up the way that Boyd looked at her. Ooh, Boyd was ready. He was contemplating it in my mind the way he was looking at.
Window shut.
Yeah, yeah. He was about to Frank her.
Yep.
He's about to get Frank.
Hey, y'all want to see that? I got the clip. You got the soundbite. I got the clip. Y'all want to see it? I love that.
Let's go.
Yeah.
What'd I tell you, Frank?
It got late and I didn't.
You got kids? You nail the window shut. You nail the motherfucking window shut. Frank, right?
No, I can't. Don't.
And he just straight slapped me so hard.
Hey, those slaps were beautiful.
They were real. That was like
they were
real.
beautiful. It's like
He didn't even know
art
how
in
to
motion.
respond. He was like, oh.
The motherfucking pow! I was like, God damn, boy.
He slapped him with
You let him
perfection
know.
twice.
Like, if Frank did not remember how to act after that, I don't know what
And
he was gonna do.
Frank, it was such a perfect slap that Frank didn't even react in any type of negative way. He was like, "Yeah, I needed that. Yeah, I deserved
It's
that."
like Dad straight up gave him a whooping. Like Dad came out and laid it down. Oh shit! That's what like people do not to mess with Boyd though, right? They knew like Boyd was like dad of the town. I always seen him as dad and Donna as mom in a sense. And they kind of kept the town together. And he come out there and just let them straight know. Tell them that was.
Well, even in the pool, he was like, "I cannot help you people unless you let this is what happens. This right here is what happens." And
no fuck is next.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, those slaps rang out in a symphony. It was beautiful music. And then you know what else? The writers did say that the beginning has something, or the end has something to do with the beginning. So I don't know if that has something to do with it, the Frank situation and his wife dying and stuff like that. But there's a lot going on in that first episode.
Could be.
It is. And what about you, Brian? You agree, disagree with Donna? And do you think the town is kind of losing faith in Boyd?
I tend to agree. Just like morally, I think people deserve to know. But also, Donna being from the colony house, she's more in touch with like what the mood of the town is. Like she's like the voice of the people in this scene, and in a lot of ways. Whereas, you know, in the town itself, there's everybody's in their own buildings, they're all sequestered. Donna's just in a room in a building full of all these people, so she knows what people are thinking more than Boyd does. And in a way, I think she's actually trying to help him a little bit because she sees that authority starting to slip. And if this secret gets out that he covered up this murder, that's going to undermine his authority all the more. So in a way, it is also to his benefit. And yeah, I tend to agree. Like you guys were saying, though, it's all in how you do that. Like you don't want to rile everybody up and like, okay, let's go kill her then. Like that's why Boyd had the whole box thing. Like that was to stop that from happening, like a riot type situation. So it's all in how you do it, the execution of that. But I think at the very least, he was right to push back on him in this moment and threaten that. Whether she follows through with it or not, I think it was right to kind of maybe snap him out of it and give him a reality check. So.
Yeah, because we do always say the people here do not share information. And is that a downfall or a detriment to what's going on?
Yeah.
But here we have a situation to where now is this information once again that should or should not be shared? Because and I personally think even if Donna were to say, okay, let's keep this quiet, Boyd should still tell Kenny, because the divide happened just with him not telling Kenny about his dad. If this is another thing that Boyd keeps from Kenny, he's really going to lose Kenny.
Yeah.
So, and he's holding on to Kenny by a thread at this point.
Yeah, and I think Acosta's starting to turn against him as well. I mean, almost every character has a reason to push back on Boyd at this point. There's even a scene, I forget if it was this episode or the one before, where like Ellis was trying to take those drugs and Christy was like trying to stop him, and he like boxed her out, you know, and she's just not even looking at him, not paying attention to him because he snapped at her earlier in that episode. So he lost all sense of authority with Christy, and this is happening with pretty much every major character at this point. So, yeah.
What about you, Scarlett? You agree with it? You disagree with it? What's your take?
Again, it's that perception. Like, I mean, Donna this season's breaking, and the way she's coming at Boyd, I don't like the way she's coming at him, although she does, I don't know. I want to say her heart's in the right place. She's scared, and she sees in that conversation where she's saying people don't believe in you anymore. Like, you can't just rely on that. It's as if she knows that things are going to get bad, and you've got to stay ahead of it. But you can't. But her just saying you got, like, giving him that demand. I don't know. Like, she's not giving answers to help. It's more just like, you need to take care of this. You need to take care of this. You need to take care of this. And he's trying, like he's actively trying to figure out a solution for what's going on in this situation. Because again, this is not just a normal somebody killed somebody. There's more to it than that. This is not just, even with Sarah, like you said, people understand with Sarah. No, they didn't really understand. That's true. They're not going to have, again, you're not going to fully be able to understand it. Not everybody is, but to incite that mob is only going to cause more fear, more panic. More people are going to start questioning things to the detriment, not to the resolve. So they're going to constantly be fighting and bickering. And now we're getting into, like, you know, witch trials type things. We're going to blame one neighbor for something that another neighbor did. And now this neighbor, and I know I've seen that person over there talking to themselves. So they must be part of the mold. They must be part of the entity, right? Because if you start spinning this into the community of Fatima's possibly, not only she possibly murdered someone, but now the reason behind it, because he always said, we're going to tell everybody, we're going to make them understand what happened. This is not normal. That everything in and of that is going to cause that panic, that people are going to just turn on each other. It's already happening. And Boyd, I feel like, is trying to do everything he can to keep that powder keg, as he talked about, from exploding. And I love Donna, but sometimes I feel like she throws a little gasoline on the fire. I don't feel like, as much as her heart may be in the right place, it's not helpful when you're not helping with anything. You need to tell everybody, or I will. Okay, well, what are we good? I'm gonna tell them, and then what? What is the follow up to that? Like, what are we gonna do past that point? Yeah, everybody needs to know to a degree, but then what? Okay, so we're gonna release the mob onto Fatima, just no more than it needs to be released on Sarah. And so I don't know. That's what I think. It ain't much of a thought, just more of observation.
Yeah, I don't think she even really thought through like what the and then is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty much like you can't present that fact without having like, what are we going to do about it? Because even if you get people to understand, okay, she killed somebody, but she didn't mean to, but like it was her being possessed by somebody else. It's like, okay, what are you going to do to keep everybody else safe? Then you have to either keep her apart, you got to put her in the box. Like there has to be a solution to it.
Yeah, there's no way for them to know, and then that fear of it of itself. They've got every day now something's popping off.
Yeah.
It seems like, I mean, that panic is setting into the town. They're already turning on each other. Poor T and Chen, they pushed past her like she was nothing, just threw her to the side to go get food that they didn't even wasn't even really going to save them. Like that little bit of food wasn't going to keep them for much time, anyways. So.
And then showed up to her funeral.
Right.
And then goes and gets the crops. Is getting all mad at Jade. He ain't doing nothing. Jade ain't doing nothing but sitting there with his.
JH, they showed up to her funeral.
They still have it coming.
I hope so. I hope there's two of them in particular, the two that really went at her. Like the whole mob deserves it, but there was two individuals in that mob that was like, I'm like, no, get her, get him, get them out of here. Can somebody push him outside one night by accident? Of course.
These red shirts we've never seen before.
Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Let's see. We did Tilly's death. Let me go down. Let's see. I'm sorry. I'm behind on even my star chats. Okay. Star says now. Oh wait, I gotta do this one first. There we go. Star says that's before Boyd's hands started shaking. Now his slaps are off too much shaking. Yeah.
He can't risk the slap.
He was. Oh, God, the slap is the best. Boyd already looked at Acosta like she might be a problem. He'll take her out if needed. I mean, she getting a little mouthy too. Look, I defended Acosta when her little ass came in here shooting around and stuff. I felt for her, and I was like, look, man, she was trying to do good. But then she's kind of irritating me a little bit. Like, I understand her being upset about not having the gun, but that throwing her like power around. I'm a police officer. You're not a police officer. I got a badge. Sweetie, we're not in Camden, Maine anymore. You're not in the continental United States. You have no power or authority here, whether you like it or not. Boyd is the power and authority, and for good reason. He did a lot to establish that power and authority in the town. And you might want to get on board a little bit, or you go find yourself outside in that shack where Fatima was. I'm just saying, she's a little bit Costa getting on my nerves. And I defended her. Ain't nothing worse when I defend one of these characters and then they do something stupid like.
I think she's supposed to, for sure.
Get on my nerves with it. See, Baby says Fatima should be exposed. Yes, but my theory is that Sarah will take the fall. She will martyr herself to save Fatima because she just wants to feel like a good person again. Oh,
that
layers.
That makes sense.
Oh God, poor Sarah.
Yeah, they got to do something with Sarah. Obviously they paired her up with Victor, but her storyline has to go somewhere, and that would be a good endpoint for her. That would make sense for sure.
Oh man, like she hears about it and she just kind of knows. She got a gut feeling. Spirits told her, the boy in white let her know what's up. And she goes to Boyd and it's like, let me be the one they come after. Send me to the box. Then the box comes back. Oh no, the box back. So brutal. God, this place is brutal.
Yeah.
See, Blue says, I agree with Donna wanting to let everyone know it was Fatima so they are aware she is dangerous. She's thinking of the group as a whole. And yes, definitely agree with her thinking. That delivery gets me every time this season. Her delivery this season has just been a little cold, a little harsh.
She's
Maybe
on
it's
edge.
just the harsh truths. Maybe
Yeah.
we just don't want to hear the harsh realities. I don't know. The Crazy Mad says, didn't Donna just tell Boyd the town don't believe in him? Yeah, she did. She straight just told him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
Told him the
it's
truth.
a little harsh.
Definitely.
And Peter Griffin says, Donna went straight to blaming Sarah, so that is a minus in my book. She knew damn well. Exactly. Yeah, I'm actually with you on that, Peter. Like, how you going to tell me in the last episode, you and Boyd have this whole conversation while you walking down the way about Fatima and how you don't want her in your house no more, but and a murder pops off and you immediately question Sarah.
I think it's less that she's personally blaming Sarah as she knows that is the next step that everyone else will take. Like, we have to show that we're interrogating her as well. Like, that's what people are going to want us to do. I think that's her angle on it more so than like she thinks that Sarah did it, if that makes sense.
And I like this. Star says, and it's about Donna. She didn't think of the group when Dale was stabbing Cabin. Yeah, when he goes stabbing Ellis, it seemingly like he was go put him in the back bedroom, go put him upstairs, don't let nobody see him. It's gonna be okay. But I guess he didn't kill nobody, so that's the difference, right? I mean, if Ellis had died, then maybe it would be a different story.
Yeah.
But he still went stabby. That was not a justified stab at all. It was uncalled for.
No, it was a oops, my bad.
Yeah.
It was the worst. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't. Oh, did I just stab you? Oh. You're gonna be fine.
Waving around a knife. What do you think is gonna happen?
Exactly.
He was pointing it at folks too. I'm like, nobody taught him safety. Look, they got to teach you to put the scissors down. Point them down when you don't run with scissors. Don't run with knives. Just point it down. Point it at somebody.
We learned that in like kindergarten.
Right. That's why he had to go. That's why the pool had to happen, I guess.
I guess. I'm still upset that Fatima didn't get to have her drinking fountain, Dale drinking fountain in the pool, man. I'm telling you, it was perfect. He had the blood dripping out of his mouth. It was perfect. She could just got a little straw, a little slurpy slurp. And it was for the baby, right? Like, we know it's a baby, so there's a baby coming. Someone please think of the children. That baby needs nutrition. And I'm sorry, it's not, you know what, just because it's not normal don't mean you can't love it. I mean, it's a baby, right? We're supposed to love all the children, no matter how something
if it is a baby,
we're gonna love on that demon baby.
That's right. Love it until it's no longer a demon baby. But for now, it might need a little blood and some rotten food. It's okay.
Boy made sure he left a care package for
in the Tupperware.
Right.
That's nasty work, boy.
Yeah, he just, as long as she returned the Tupperware, everything's all right.
Do they even have dish soap here? Can they even clean that thing? That Tupperware is
even
done for.
sanitary?
Yeah.
Clean the dishes in the brundle.
Sanitary.
Right.
Like, geez, what is
at
like
least have
Elgin
mouthwash
just gonna be like the fountain? Okay, tap me in. They
Look, there he got the Tupperware. He put her up the talisman.
Elgin got the Kool-Aid. Oh,
there you go.
He ready.
I'm telling you, man, it's just, she's set up nice. Now she got her own personal quarters. Very personal quarters. Poor Fatima. I still, that shit just gave me chills at the end because the way they set that up, talking about the children, and then Fatima's going down there, and I'm like, shit. That's some darkness.
It is. But we have an interesting question. This actually was from Cloud. He's part of like our community, and he brought up an interesting question that I figured. Cloud. Yeah, I figured I might as well ask. He wanted to know, do you guys believe that the people here are acting of their own free will, or is everything predetermined?
I think it's a mix of both. Well, we've seen people seemingly sort of possessed, and we had that discussion with Jade of predetermined things. You know, you had these visions of this town where you connected with it all along. You're always inevitably going to get here. So I think that's not something that's going to have like a concrete answer. That's like a question people ask themselves in like day-to-day life, so I don't know. What do you guys think?
What about you, Baby Clay? You think that they're acting on their own free will, or is everything here predetermined?
I think everything here is predetermined. Like, if you're supposed to die in Fromland, you're going to die in Fromland. Like, I don't think anybody here is there by mistake. Even the extras, as in, like Clara, that we don't know too much about yet. I'm pretty sure she, will eventually, like, her story will be told, not yet, but probably soon, that her story would be told on where she came from, a little bit of background on her. But I think everything in the town is everyone is there for a reason, and the town is predetermined. So I totally think that.
There's definitely this intelligence behind everything. You would have to see like some sort of rebellion against like what the town wants them to do to like say have proof that there is free will,
Yeah.
And you kind of saw that with Tabitha when like she's supposed to go to this bottle tree and then she rebels against that and she ends up back in the town. So was that free will, or was she supposed to rebel in that moment? Or maybe the intelligence of the town knew that she was going to rebel in that moment because they know her so well.
When you say rebel, do you mean like go save the Aunt Cooey kids and you
like
that, right?
Like she had breadcrumb trails to follow. She was given Victor's lunchbox, which had the address that she had to go to meet Henry, which then led to the paintings, to the bottle tree, and then she's on the way to the bottle tree and she's like, no, I'm not doing it, I'm on this predetermined cause. She even tells Henry something to that effect, and then she's like, no, I'm not going, and then the town brings her back.
I definitely, I mean, because it just seemed all too coincidental that she has this lunchbox that leads to Henry, and Henry has a son that's in Fromland. I don't think that's based off free will. I think that's the town setting it up so she could have brought Henry back. And maybe, I'm not saying like gave Victor the thought to give him to give her the lunchbox. I think maybe that part was a little bit of free will, and Victor actually cared, about her, if she would go hungry or whatnot. Hey, I'm gonna give you a couple snacks to take along your journey. But I think the overall adventure that Tabitha had was predetermined all the way through. That's why you see the boy in white. Excuse me. That's why you see the boy in white at when she was across the street from him. She went to the priest. The priest knew that she had a son. She never mentioned Thomas was a boy. She never mentioned Thomas, like as far as the person's name, the little boy's name. She never mentioned anything about him. And the priest says, hey, what's in the list? I believe all of that was predetermined on the town saying she's going to go this way. We're going to do this to make them think this, and she's going to eventually end up back in the town. Because, I mean, they were on the way to a tree.
Yeah.
And then eventually ran into the tree in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't think anything with this town is coincidental at all.
Even Acosta coming with her in the ambulance was like Acosta's there to fulfill a role like I was talking about earlier. So yeah, that makes sense. And they bring those paramedics there and they die immediately because they already got 2 medics. They don't need more medics.
They don't need no more. Yeah. Fast. Big, like I'm telling you.
For sure.
And like Acosta, I don't know what her deal is, but she gives me, I don't know how, like she gives me the I want to be in charge vibes, but can't actually handle it. I'm not sure why she's there, but the town brought her there for a reason. Believe me, this lady cop is definitely just not there to be an extra. She's there to do something or be something, a part of this little
Interesting.
From feel they got. I don't believe that Acosta is just there just to be there. I don't even think Clara is just there just to be there. And the reason why I say Clara is because, you know, we see Clara every once in a while. We don't see Clara a lot. But I believe that Clara is there for a reason. We didn't see Dale a lot. But now that we know that Dale was the one that went through the tree and ended up in the pool, it's like
he had an arc. Yeah.
He had a little bit of art. Dale was the first one to bring up the string theory. When he was sitting on top of the stairs the same night as the massacre, he was the one speaking about the string theory.
That's a good point.
And now, here we have it.
Yeah, I think it might even be like a metaphor for like storytelling, because we're in this collective unconscious, this dream world. And when you're writing a story, like a script, it's almost like meta commentary on storytelling itself in a way, because nothing in a story is there for no reason. You know, there's the old Chekhov's gun thing, that motif that people talk about, where like if you hang a gun over the mantle in Act 1, by Act 3 it has to go off. Like everything in the story is like there to serve a function. And, you know, there's this question of what is people's purpose in the real world that I think is tied in with that as well. But I think that's definitely like the whole determinism versus free will thing. Like, is there an author, or is there an intelligence that's like guiding them along the way? So
yeah. What about you, Ray? You think everybody here has, you know, it's all predetermined, or do you think they have any free will?
So I feel like that's a kind of like a philosophical question, because if you have free will, so we determine that there's some type of time thing going on. If you have free will and you're making decisions that have gone through time, and there's some type of like backtrack going on, or where people going back in time and stuff like that, you've already made a decision at a free will, so it's already been determined. So it's kind of like a loop in my mind.
Yeah, and I think that the part of it is like, when you make a choice, was it the result of things that happened to you? Is it like because you made this choice before? Like the best predictor scientifically for somebody's behavior is what they've done in the past, right? And if there is a change, it's like there had to be a change in circumstances, or some new idea presented to them in some way, like inspiration of sorts. So that's like the philosophical question of determinism versus free will. You know, and it's interesting to talk about for sure.
The reason why I say it's predeterminism, I'm sorry to interrupt right quick, but
no, go for it.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
One of the examples of predeterminism with the town is that at first I thought Marielle was brought there for Christy, until I found out Fatima was pregnant with something, or changing over to something. And in my head, I'm like, okay, so the town knew that Fatima was pregnant, and they bought a pediatrician to help out.
Yeah, and the ultrasound thing, right?
Yeah.
And the ultrasound.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like that was one of the examples of like telling me, okay, so the town, the monsters already said, we know all of your names. So if the town isn't predetermined, then how would the monsters know anyone names, what they do, how they would, you know, react to them showing up? Because the guy that Julie saw, she knew him. The guy in the what was it, first episode?
Yeah, like in the window.
Yeah. She knew him.
Maybe they could read minds or something.
And see, that scene was weird too, right? Because they did a similar thing with Granny. It was almost like girl was kind of like no, but maybe. So it's as if these monsters have, like, they've never fully or explained what powers these monsters have. We don't know how far their reach is with something like that, how much they can manipulate somebody. And them, to me, them knowing stuff, again, that just goes back to the psychic sort of energies of this place. I mean, and it could go beyond that. I mean, if this place is from your dreams, well, your dreams are sort of the makeup of your memories, of your experiences, your excuse me, your imagination, like all those things. So I don't know if it's predeterminism based off that. Now, but it could still be. I don't see it as that. I just see it as getting the layers of this place and how it picks up on everything. Like I said, I mean, if this is kind of how you're saying it, Shook, that it's this, collective sort of psychic type place. I mean, that alone would mean, okay, mind reading at its finest. I mean, of course, you would know anything and everything about anybody who ever touched foot here, not just physically here, but let's say dreamingly here. So if you've been in this place in a dream, your mind has been connected to it. Therefore, anything you thought, felt, seen could be possibly picked up by whatever this is. Because until we know what the it is, what the they are, truly, it's hard for me to say whether it's determinism or not, because they seem to have it to make us think now that, okay, these things were set into motion, but they still have a choice, right? Because it's supposed to be, are you going to save the children or not? It seems as if the cycle repeats, but there's a choice to be made, or there is something of a free will choice here. Almost as if you're going to get one or two choices. You're either going to save the children or you're going to not save the children. I don't know if that's really what's going to happen, but that's sort of the way I'm seeing it, as if, yeah, it's, I mean, yeah, kind of determinism, but it's still, I think there's some free will here. I don't think it's fully one set way as they kind of did it in Lost, where all those things were set in motion and there was an outcome. The island knew the outcome before the outcome, and it was setting these things in motion to have this outcome.
Yeah, I think you're onto something, especially with the threshold idea, where like they're at this threshold. Like it was Julie's idea that she had to step into that thing. Randall had the same choice, and he was like, "No, I'm not doing it." And Julie goes with Ethan, and Ethan like kind of gives her the bravery to take that extra step. So yeah, there is that free will there, because Randall and Julie were presented the exact same situation, and they made different decisions based on their different personalities, essentially. So.
And until we get to the end, we don't know how many of these choices are actually made of free will, or they're giving sort of a choice, or regardless of their choice, the outcome was predetermined.
Is it free will if the choices that you have leads to a lesser of two evils? Is it still free will? Okay, yeah, you could choose to not go outside at night, or you could choose to be stuck in the house all night and be hopeful that these talismans will work.
That's the same choice.
That is the same choice, because they can still get in the house. If the talisman falls down on the ground, we're all fucked. So it's like, is it free will, or is it the rest of two evils?
Let's hear what JH has to say. What's your take? Do you think things here are all predetermined, or do you think that our characters have at least some form of free will?
Stepdaddy said F your free will, so I'm gonna go with that. Whatever happened.
So you think it's all pretty much predetermined?
What, say again?
Did we lose you, Dana?
Hmm?
Oh, we might have
seems
lost.
like it.
We might have lost her for a second.
She was just asking, like, do you think everything's predetermined, or is there like choice, free will with?
Yeah, because I can't. She cut up there at the.
I would like to think there's choice of free will. We have to have a resolution to this show.
Yeah.
Everybody dies. We started over again.
Right.
I think she's back.
We got to break this cycle at some point.
Yeah, no, I was just Brian filled in for me. I was just asking, my internet died on me for a quick second.
Okay.
It happens to the best of us.
That is just the duck of death, as they say. StreamYard's sometimes fun devil
is
to play
that
with. It probably not. It could just be you never know, to be
Right.
honest. You you're just never quite sure. Kind of like From. You're just never sure. The mystery of the internet sometimes. I just don't know. I can't figure that one out any more than I can From.
I'm with you there. I was having internet problems on and off. I couldn't stream for like months, and then all of a sudden it just started working again. It's like, what happened? I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't question it. Just go with it. That's where I'm at.
You're from, man.
Right.
Yeah,
That's why
definitely.
that's why it doesn't make sense.
The
Comcast is
internet's
from.
rebelling against
You
the
can't
show we're
leave.
talking
You
about.
can't leave. You have to be
Yeah,
on the
you can't
phone
leave,
for
can you?
like 2 hours to unsubscribe.
Let's see what some of you guys are saying about it in the chat. Perth Comics says free will, but being manipulated. And again, like I'm kind of on that track, so to speak. But until we get to the end, I mean, it's,
I think it's
I
free
don't know.
will, but there is an intelligence there that is guiding
Yes.
everything and picking
It's that
these people and-
manipulation to get
Yeah.
them to where it wants them to be. But I'm not sure if it's still like it seems as if they still have a choice. Like it's trying to feel like because it seems like there's two sides or at least two factions possibly.
Yep.
Not necessarily good or bad, but they're sort of driving these characters to do certain things, but then they still seemingly get a choice in the matter.
Yeah,
Julie
like
had a
yeah.
choice. She did not have to drop that rope.
No, not at all. She didn't even have to step into that. You know, there wasn't
She
even
didn't
like
have
an
to.
urgent need. It was more like curiosity that led her there.
Mm-hmm.
But it
And
was
again,
in a way predetermined because it already had happened. You know, because we're in the past.
exactly, and then how they're going to explain all that too. Like, so
Yeah.
I can't wait. Like, I'm still up in the air. I will say they have free will, but I will wait to see where it takes us because I mean, this is a wild one. This episode really opened my
Definitely.
mind up even more than it already was on the show of what the possibilities are going to be. Let's see. We got Debbie says the town definitely influences them, especially in groups. See the town meeting / the Fluster Cluck. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was
And
something.
you can see Fatima's anger manifest in that scene more than
Yes.
any other than the Tilly thing. And it was like her being possessed by this demon baby thing, whatever it is, was causing that. And that definitely changed like the tenor of that space. Like everybody was like, we're against Tabitha as a result. So yeah.
And definitely the people were picking that up in the chat. Her sort of Fatima's change in her attitude, her demeanor. And then to me, even when she stabbed Tilly, that just the way it played out in that direct stab, it was almost like magnetism. She was so shocked in herself, like she didn't do it. The way she pushed Elgin in this episode, this extra sort of force that she has, like she's seemingly like crippled. She can't get out of the, this place. But right before that, she's pushing Elgin off of her with this force, like get off of me. And then now she's back to being crippled again, almost.
So it's fighting back and forth. I almost felt like her pushing Elgin in this episode was just like survival instinct.
Was it? Okay. Because I was trying to figure
that's what
it
I
out.
thought watching it.
Because she seemed like she got super strong with Tilly, but yet she was like crippling. And then she's like, I stab. And then she's like, oh God, I'm hurting. I'm feeling around for something. Elgin, leave me. It was almost as if the same scene was happening over again with Elgin, but she didn't have shears.
Yeah, you might be right. Yeah, you might be right.
And I don't know. I just, again, just a perspective. I truly have no idea. I just throw shit out there. I muddy up the waters a lot just to see what everybody else thinks. Like, I don't know, is this possible? And Felix Hayes he's got some thoughts on it. Could she be there to help and talking about Acosta, could she be there to undermine Boyd's authority?
Felix agrees with me.
And definitely, yeah, she's wild card. I don't know where to fit her yet, but she's definitely, they are, again, the way they pin certain characters in the show against each other, these sort of triangles. Here's another one. They're forming this triangle here between Kenny, Boyd, and Acosta. Kenny's kind of in the middle of it. We see that again. We see the Jade, Tabitha, and Jim sort of triangle, and it's just these constant way they pin these characters against each other, even for us to kind of pick sides, right? We're picking sides in this, we pick sides. It's constant picking sides with these characters because they intentionally put these characters against each other. The Jim and Jade one to me is the most predominant one. It's the most in your face, sort of comical one, because they're essentially similar guys in a lot of ways, I would say, except for key things that kind of the writers have made sure to put, and I hate to say, they put Jade to, in my opinion, a step above Jim. And so many times the writers kind of, to me, make me think that Jade one-ups Jim at every turn. It pisses Jim off to no end. Like, he gets so frustrated with how much Jade kind of seemingly gets away with things in his mind. And then, of course, Tabitha running with Jade does not help at all, because that's just gonna, that's not.
Is he just jealous husband? Do you think there might be something going on there? Do you think
Well,
maybe that's part of
I
it?
wouldn't say until this last couple episodes. Then yeah, I think he's starting to pick up a little bit of that. But
Maybe
again,
subconsciously.
he seems controlling, and not because, again, like, I think he's like a bad, like, just an evil person or a bad abusive father. But he's has a hard time letting, like, Tabitha be an adult, and that just always honestly frustrates me with their relationship, because he'll have moments where he comes around to Tabitha and sort of gets back on board with her, gets on page with her, just for a brief moment even, and then he goes right back to that same Jim attitude and it irritates me. It's more infuriating than it is hateful, but I'm just like, why, Jim? Like, the fact that he went in there the way he went after Jade, and he's done this time and time again. He was like, the bottle treat again. Jade's like, why wouldn't you tell us anything about this? Well, it's just papers in a bottle. It's nothing. I'm like, again, almost as if he's trying to undermine Jade, but again, it just puts,
could be
him in a bad position, makes him look stupid. And I'm like, and that's just my perspective on that kind of triangle. Again, I know there's a lot of people who see it kind of the flip reverse, as in Jim is more helpful. He's done more to sort of secure things, to protect things, and so on and so forth. Again, it's that perspective thing, right?
Yeah. I mean, they had the whole thing with Jim building the radio tower and how that ended, and it ended with putting his wife in danger. Maybe he sees just like this seeking of knowledge as something inherently wrong at this point because of that whole situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he definitely seems like then again, he's so worried about his kids that he leaves Julie and Ethan. And essentially was going to leave Ethan had Julie not walked in that door to go harass Jade about what his wife is doing. And Jade, and Jade, to me, honestly put him in his place at the end and says, no, I'm done. We're done with this. No, we're done, Jim. Like, fuck off. He closed the door in his face. And I was like, yes, Jade, let him know. Tabitha is a grown-ass woman. You want to keep your kids under lock and key, that is your business, but she is a grown-ass woman. If you have a problem with her actions, you need to take it up with your wife. I have no control over this woman.
Right.
I was like, mic drop. I'm sorry. I loved it.
Yes.
Well, I know I'll get some heat for it possible. It's okay. It's fine, because Jim.
No, well, we have one more question, Scarlett.
Yes,
and
ma'am. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Then do you want to watch the trailer? Or
yes, ma'am. I will go ahead and get that ready and for us to watch while you guys finish that last question.
So we typically end the roundtable. I ask every week, did this episode change anything regards to your thoughts, your theories of the show, the season? And this was a big episode. We did get a lot of information and a lot of reveals this episode. So I'm curious to know, have any of your thoughts or theories changed because of this episode? And we'll start with you, JH. Did anything change for you this episode? This was a big one.
I feel like we can start throwing away it's an experiment. I just don't feel like it could be that anymore. It's like it's straight up mostly supernatural with some science thrown in.
I agree.
Okay. And what did you enjoy the little bit of reveals that we got, since we were waiting so long to figure out who threw the rope?
Yes, I think we were going to get that. I just gave up on the rope.
Did you kind of thought it was going to be like the bile, like we're just never gonna?
Right. Nothing.
So does this give you then a new hope for if we might get the answer about the bile or some other things that maybe you thought might have been kind of forgotten about?
I still think it's over with for the bile, but we're going to get some things though.
And are you looking forward to, the season finale, the 2 episodes, revelations?
Of course, revelations, answers.
Let's fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. We're probably going to get a couple of answers and another bunch of questions that we're all going to be sitting here waiting for the next season. Like, damn it, we got this, but now we got this. What are we going to do?
Well, I wanted one of those episodes kind of dedicated to, I guess you could say, the origins of From, but I don't know if we're going to get it like a full episode dedicated to that. But that's what I was thinking.
I think we will.
Since you got part 1, part 2, you know.
Yeah, like I definitely think if this show had the time like Lost did,
yeah,
I definitely think they'd give us so much more. But they have to pick and choose so much with their shorter seasons that I definitely think that hopefully maybe we'll get like the final season's going to just be a powerhouse. We're just going to get kind of everything thrown at us in the final season.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But what about you, Baby Clay? Did this episode change any of your thoughts or theories going forward?
Shit. I'm like JH. I feel like the experiment thing is maybe, you know, thrown out the window at this point. But nothing really changed as far as the Tilly suspicions and I feel differently about Elgin. Elgin kind of weirded me out, you know, with dragging the whole Fatima down in the cellar. I feel differently about Elgin because I liked Elgin. I thought he was a key piece to the town, but yeah, I feel differently about that now. So yeah, but nothing else has changed so far.
Awesome. What about you, Brian? Anything changed for you this episode?
Definitely. Huge episode. Something we didn't get to talk about. I have a whole theory. I think they laid out the end of the show for us with that origin story. The end is the beginning. And I think we're going to reach a point where we realize, oh, if we save the children, that's going to undo everything because Fromville was kind of created by this evil sacrifice that was committed. And I think they're going to try to use whatever happened to Julie to go back in time. And I think whoever told that story that created hope, that created the faraway tree, I think that's one of our main cast members, whoever ends up going back in time. And I think that there's going to be this self-fulfilling prophecy that happens. My theory of the end of the show is they're going to try to undo everything, but they're going to end up causing it to happen. So they're going to not actually be effectual in doing that, in my opinion. So I don't know. That's just my theory.
So they themselves kind of are going to cause whatever is the start or the catalyst of From.
100%. That's my theory on the show right now. It's almost like there's this video game about time travel called Quantum Break, and in that game they had the concept that you say you knock a glass over, and you go back in time to try to fix that and stop it from happening, but it turns out that it was you going back in time that caused that glass to knock over to begin with. I think we're going to have something similar, and it's going to tie in with that determinism or free will question. You know, so that's just where I'm at after this episode.
I like that because if you go back to, again, I got to do it, bring up Lost with the rope down the well. It was basically the rope is what was left behind, and it kind of started the chain of events to dig to see where that rope went, which led to all so it's this big loop. It's like they actually started it.
Yep. Fulfill the cycle, finish the circle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's where I'm
so
at.
I like that. I like
it could
that.
even tie in with there's a theory of the Big Bang, you know, the universe is spreading out, right? And there's this theory that once the energy dissipates, all that's going to be left is gravity and everything sucks back in together again, and then it'll start the whole process over again. That's a theory. So this whole concept of the cycle, I think that, you know, they're throwing in some sci-fi concepts. So, you know, I think I'm not just grasping for straws there. I think they might actually be thinking of something like that.
Now, they definitely put all of those out there for us to theorize, so I can't wait to see what it is, right?
Yeah.
Like, how far of the line are they going to go with it? Is it how far to supernatural are they going to keep it? And then how much of science are they going to add to it? Is there going to be an overlay, or is it just going to be one or the other? But no, I agree. There's definitely a lot of that in the show. I mean, there's a lot of everything in the show, right? Like there's there's so many references and little like Easter eggs or just nods to things, to tropes and stuff that it's endless. Like even more so than just the Lost references. It's like everything in this show is almost visualized for us to think of something else that we remember from another time.
Yeah.
From and that again, that from somewhere, that from another time, that in our past, that memory, that nostalgia, that vibe of it's something long since past. That, oh, how do you remember when? You know, and it brings up that memory. But then they've twisted it here, right? It's everything that we can, things that we think of from the past, but then they've twisted it, and it's just, I love it, man.
Definitely.
I can't.
Yeah, it's
wait.
like Jungian archetypes. You know, like Carl Jung had these ideas of just primordial concepts that go way back to our origins as a species, and that come up again and again in storytelling. And I think that's definitely what they're playing with here with this show for sure.
Interesting. Yeah. And what about you, Ray? Did this episode change anything for you?
Yeah, it changed a lot. When Julie went into that other realm, that just threw my mind through a loop. Because, like I said, I want to say that confirms time things going on, but I don't know for sure. And as far as like how I think it'll end, there's a whole lot of things that were changed when it happened. So I'm kind of lost at the moment.
No pun intended.
Bringing up Lost, you're right. Bringing up Lost. That was a good thing that you said as far as like the end and the beginning. If you remember, I think it was in the first episode of Lost. There was the dead people in the cave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So that
And they solved that
got
towards the end of
explained.
the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adam and Eve.
Yep. That's a
So-
great point. Yeah.
Which they put in From, right? The little painting in Ellis and Fatima's room, seemingly an Adam and Eve type figure.
For sure.
So, and then what does it mean? We don't know.
Is her eating the rotted food the forbidden fruit in the, in the
It's
Garden of
definitely
Eden?
forbidden.
Well, it
Yeah.
could be the Fae fruit, right? Because seemingly
Yeah.
the food was nice at first, and then they talked about, you know, them eating the food there could be the Fae, you know, the light fruit. Now it's all rotten, and they kind of showed. I don't want to say the same thing, but what was it? It was like in True Blood when they go to the Fae realm, they eat the light fruit, but you know, the chick kind of realizes like, wait, this is sort of illusionary. This is not real, and then the fruit seemingly is decayed and rotten that they are eating. So again, yeah, those, just like we're saying, Susie, yes. Old mythologies, books, philosophies, games, everything. It's piled in and just deliciously displayed for us, and we can just eat it up.
Yes. So what about you, Scarlett? Did anything change for you?
Well, you know me, I'm so all over the place with where I think of this show, because I think of it more possibilities than I have like one theory. That's why, like, look, Data's been on me to put out videos. The main reason why I haven't put out many videos, because I don't have a theory that I can just say, okay, this is my theory. This is like the one thing I think. I tend to ramble and have a hard time like focusing it. So for me, I don't know if it's so much as anything changed for me as much as more possibilities have been opened, more doors, more passages for us to go down, more rabbit holes for me to explore. Again, I don't. For me, it's not so much about what's right or wrong, or is this theory going to pan out? It's where do I get to go with the story? How far down and deep in a rabbit hole can I go with it? What clue do they give me to kind of let me go further down? But I don't have a direction. I don't have a seemingly like one direction. It's the nightmare thing is pretty much the only main direction, next to just maybe a cursed reality, which I still think is kind of there. That ritual kind of stuff that we've talked about before, all those kind of things I still think are at play. So I don't know, just more possibilities more than anything than changed.
And now I guess we'll either watch the trailer or open it up to the chat, whatever you want to do.
Yes, let's see. I did have a few stars that I wanted to get to, and I know Debbie Baby says, I believe an underlying theme has been the magic equals faith equals science. It just depends on what time you're from. And yes, they definitely displaying a lot of that. Key says, watch the bile turn out to be some kind of cure, elixir, or antidote to something down the line. I at least hope it comes into play.
I think it will.
Absolutely.
I think it has to.
I hope so.
Wouldn't it be interesting if the bile is not so much something that they could use against the monsters, but something that they could use to gain access to something in the tunnels? Like a place where only the monsters go, and you maybe, like how we think having something on you when you go through the faraway tree tends to maybe determine where you end up. What if the same thing could be said for the bile? That walking through the tunnel, something is revealed because it mistakens you for a monster because you have that on you.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Or it's like the Walking Dead when you got the walker guts on you. They think
Yeah, like what JH, you think that might be something nifty?
Y'all just want me to believe in the bile.
We're gonna make you come to the dark side. Come with us.
You must believe.
We have cookies. What's your favorite kind of cookie? I'll make it.
I try to hook you every time we have you on. I'm getting you there.
Dana will make her homemade lasagna.
I will, and it's really good.
It got Mama Susie's sauce. I'm telling you, I got sent some jars of Mama Susie's
They
sauce.
want me to sip the bile Kool-Aid.
I do. But do you think that would be something interesting? What if it like allows them to go somewhere in the tunnels, like only the monsters can go?
I like that idea.
Guys, and real quick, we got a super chat from Miranda for $20.
Oh,
thank
wow.
you so much, Hunt. I appreciate that. And we definitely are going to give you some fever for that. You're feeling it tonight. We're all feeling it.
Welcome to the fever dream. Fever, you're on fire. Welcome to the burning desire. I said fever. Join the party. We're burning all through the night.
Thank you so much, hun. That is most generous. You guys are awesome. I tell you, I'm not used to this. They don't even. It makes me get tongue tied because I lose my words because guys, y'all really don't even have to do it, and it means so much when you guys do give. It's and honestly, all of this that you guys are giving is going to end up going to me getting a new PC so I can upgrade my setup and sort of do some more things for you guys. I've got some things that I've been looking into that I really want to get into. I want to get into some gaming and some other things. So we're definitely, all that is most appreciated because that is where that money is going to go back into the channel in order for us to do some more stuff for you guys in the future. So thank you very much, Miranda.
Yeah, CJH, that was a sign saying you have to kind of get on board.
You need to come join the fever. Join the
fever. On the bile train.
You must drink the bile.
Yeah, so someone drink the bile first. Yes.
That just popped into my head. Like we're so thinking it's a throwaway, but maybe they're just using it wrong.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. Again, we don't know if it's anything like Lost. I mean, I'm hoping then they'll tie everything in the sense of how they made sure all the little pieces were accounted for in one way or another. I'm hoping those threads aren't just lost. You know, I hope they weren't just throwaways. I mean, I don't mind a red herring here or there, or a little thing thrown away, but that was. You ain't gonna tell me y'all have this whole autopsy. She don't even autopsy this damn thing. All she get is the bile, and then it means nothing. I can't accept it. I'm not ready to accept that.
They need another monster, don't they?
Yeah.
I think they're out of bile.
All they really got was the bile, though. I was hoping they would like look. Didn't they just? She barely looked in that body. She didn't even open the brain or nothing. Look at that. She didn't look at the eyeballs. I mean, them eyeballs just twitchy. They got like little lenses or something on them, like some kind of aqua thing going on. I don't know. They did a better investigation of that corpse.
Well, what we got out of that was they used to be human, right? Isn't that it? Like they had organs and everything.
Yeah.
Maybe consuming the bile will turn you into one of them.
Maybe.
Well, who's gonna go down?
Who wants to take that jug?
Instead of going in the box, here you go.
Yeah. You're our test dummy. Yeah.
There you go. Instead of the box punishment, drink that and see if anything happens. We'll sit here and watch.
Right before we get to that trailer, we got a question from Susie Greenberg. Says, "Do you think the next season will be a little longer?"
I don't, unless it's the last.
Unfortunately, no. The way that they're trying. Matter of fact, I I'm scared it's going to get shorter the way some of these shows are going. They're going like 8 episodes on some of these. I'm like, how is that a season?
Yeah, like Walking Dead is 6 episodes.
Oh my God! Don't say. And
Yeah.
Dana wants me to watch this, and you telling me it's 6 episodes?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah. It's just not satisfying. It's like it's just getting started.
Listen, I have my qualms with The Walking Dead. I had the discussion with James on the last panel. He knows where I stand on it because we had James from The Walking Dead Explains with us last week. He's one of the biggest Walking Dead channels that are out there. And we had a lot of discussions about The Walking Dead. So,
well, we'll have to do another 3-hour stream about that at some point.
I know I gotta watch it. Dang it! I hadn't watched it. Well, I watched some of the first. I vaguely remember the first season. Yes. And somewhere after
we got
that,
like 22 seasons to catch up on now. If you
look,
want to go to all the
hey,
spin-offs.
I did all of Lost in just a few, weeks. I will don't give me a challenge.
Yes, The Walking Dead is my favorite graphic novel. I am a huge fan of The Walking Dead.
Same.
It's what really got me into going into conventions and meeting
people.
people.
Check this out. This is the guy who
Oh, hang on. I gotta put you on big screen. Hang
Oh,
on.
sure.
I gotta push buttons. Hang on, no, you're good. It's on me. There we go.
Greg Nicotero, the zombie
Yes.
master.
Did you meet him at Walker Stalker?
No, I met him at Living Dead Weekend at Monroeville Mall here in Pittsburgh, which is the mall where Dawn of the Dead, the original one from the 70s, was filmed. And you can tour like all the locations. Here's where they filmed. Cool. It really awesome convention.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was there because he's also a Pittsburgh guy. So
nice. I met him. We went to Walker Stalker out in Jersey.
Nice.
He's an awesome, awesome guy. And I kid you not, I was at Comic-Con maybe like 4 years ago out in New York. And I was just walking around Artist Alley. And I literally bumped into Robert Kirkman.
Wow.
And can I tell you, I turned into a little fangirl. That
I would too.
Tapped him
I have
on
a pitch
his shoulder.
for him for a sequel Walking Dead comic. And
when I tapped him on his shoulder, I was like, oh my God. He turned around. He was like, I'm sorry, but I thought you were like 12. Because I like geeked out and my voice got all like high pitched. And I was oh my God,
probably would
Mr.
too,
Kirkman,
honestly. I
Mr.
can't blame you.
Kirkman. And he was just like, I literally thought I was turning around to a 12-year-old. I was like, I'm sorry. I was like, I'm sorry. And he was the nicest person like ever.
Yeah, that would be awesome for sure.
Just walking around like a regular person. And I was just like, okay, like nobody's like, all right. Tapped him right on the shoulder. Like, oh my gosh. He was very nice. So yes, we can definitely talk some Walking Dead and maybe set up something with James. We'll get Scarlett to watch it finally, at least watch some stuff.
I'll get there. Look,
awesome.
you know how much we got on the list?
Yeah. Like I said, that would take you a good while. Even if that's like your full-time job is watching Walking Dead, it's going to take a while. It's also going to be hard to get through some of Fear the Walking Dead towards the end. It was a rough one. It was a rough one.
I still haven't finished it.
I wouldn't bother with Fear the Walking Dead.
JHPM,
you can watch the end.
JHPM is just she is asking for some soundboard.
She's abusing my board. And you gotta this it's an art to this. I just can't go blast this sound.
You see her in here, right? She asking for it.
Such a troll.
All you fucking do is knock on our doors. Knock on our fucking windows.
I thought you were gonna go with "Get the fuck out of here."
Hey man, you stupid for that one, man.
The PM's one of our. She is one of my mom's favorite people. My mom asks for PM all the time.
Yes, she does. And PM asks some questions for mom too. She has some good questions, and when she comes on panel and in chat, I'm telling you, PM's got she said some things in chat tonight. She's been laying it out there.
I need PM to start that channel.
She's very observant.
Hey, I'm telling you, she does good on these panels.
Do it.
She could do it.
Definitely.
Yeah, if me and Dana can do it, anybody can do it.
For like 8 hours.
I'm a full believer. If me and Dana can do it, anybody can do it.
Yes.
Same with me. If I can do it, anybody can do it.
Telling you, man. Just get out
I
there.
should just say Scarlett kind of handles most of our
Maybe
stuff.
no. Shh, no. Don't tell our movie magic. You do things that nobody knows about.
Because I am computer and like computers friggin' I don't they
Okay. For those of you out there, the one to thank for all of the beautiful guests that we have on panel tonight would be the one and only Miss Dana Marie DeSicchio, because she is the one that has reached out to everyone. She has taken on that role and definitely has brought everyone together. She's reached out to folks. She did that. I mean, that hard work right there. Trust me, all that messaging and getting out to people and everything, that is work too, my dear. And you have done a lot of it yourself. I mean, all of that yourself, along with a lot of other things on the channel. So don't sell yourself short.
I can
Thank
vouch
you,
for that.
sweetheart.
I can vouch for it too.
So
Thank you.
enough of that, Dana. I'm not going to
I
let you
know.
do that. So it's good vibes, happy vibes, all love. And if you guys are ready, I guess if we are ready, we will get ready to dive into the trailer for the next episode for Revelations Part 1. So anybody in the chat, if you guys do not want to watch this, we completely understand. Just so that way you guys know, if this is a spoiler for you, we're going to this will pretty much be, after this will be the end of the show. So this is what we'll be talking about for pretty much the rest of the show and whatever little tidbits we got from this episode. But if you guys don't want to watch that, like I said, we understand, and we hope you have a good night, and we thank you for joining us up to this point. And we will
I cannot wait for you to see this, Scarlett.
I know you wait. I'm talking here. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, we're going to get into it, and let's see. So again, if you do not want to watch, we are fixing to start it. So that is your time to bow out if you so choose. But for those of us who dare to venture forth, here we go.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Fatima is missing. We know that she's afraid. Trying to protect you. They think that we don't have what it takes to find her.
What is it? She wants us to follow her.
We proved that this place couldn't break us. Stop!
Oh.
You can either lay down and die, or we can say, we're taking our lives back.
Wow.
Did you see Fatima? Did you see Fatima, Scarlett?
What?
She got a belly.
Well, yeah. I mean, she's pregnant.
Yeah.
What?
Well,